Good evening, everybody, and welcome to GridVision. We are watching NASCAR Class A Open tonight. I am your host, Joe LaCastro, joined joined in the booth tonight by Sheldon Adkins. How you doing, Sheldon?
Doing all right tonight, man. Excited to see another great week of A Open Top Split here.
Love it. Good to be here in the booth Monday night. I'm not usually here, but I'm happy to be here. And so I'm going to try to play a little bit of catch up as usual. I see some familiar faces, some familiar numbers, and I'm excited to be calling this race with you tonight at my home turf, no less.
Yeah, this is a pretty exciting track too. Very rough, worn out, abrasive surface, lots of bumps. Not so much like what we had at Kentucky back in the day. This is more of a kind of like Atlanta, where you got these huge ruts, kind of like potholes on the bottom part of the track. Really jostles these cars around.
Here we got a beautiful aerial view of Chicagoland. Lovely track, and we've got a lovely list of racers here tonight. I think we're going to be jumping into the grid pretty quickly here, if I've got my calculations correct. But let's see if we've got we got a little bit of time though. Let's talk about the conditions maybe. Can we get those pulled up? See what it's like out tonight here at Chicago. 83 degrees. Track says it's 102. And it looks like it's the early evening, so it's probably not going to get too much cooler. It's the mid-afternoon here, but not going to get too much cooler over the course of today's race. So if there's anything to be said about tires, we're going to be finding out over the course of the race. Let's go to picks though. My pick, Nicholas Frohman. That's a name I usually see towards the top of the list, and always a hard charger, hard driver. So I want to see what he's got in the 95 tonight.
I'm about to go with old Joseph Squared. Kind of a lackluster handful of weeks here, the past few. I really think that tonight's going to be the night that he can turn it around and get himself a good finish, get a good win out of it, possibly.
And up in the booth, let's see. Schneider, Derbyshire's pick. So right now, if we look at the qualifying numbers on the grid, it looks like Roman, my pick, is sitting somewhere around 5th. Yep. And who did you pick again, my friend?
Oh, Joseph Squared.
Joseph Squared. Hey, he's all right. He's sitting around 8th. And then Schneider is sitting 11th. Okay, so we've got a pretty good spread across the top 11 there for who could be picking up tonight's race. And now let's get things ready. Take things to your starting grid. First place, pole position, Patrick Gitter. Second place, Tommy Gossett. Third is Peter Irons. Fourth, Garrett Maines. Fifth, my pick, Nicholas Frohman. Sixth, Matt DeCiani. Seventh, Clayton Hoffman. Eighth, Joseph. Ninth, Roger Pierce. And rounding out 10th, Shane Davis.
11th place, we got Jacob Schneider with Johan Seminario starting in 12th. 13th is going to be Yakov Kirsanov, followed by Trent Dinkel in 14th. Wilhelmi Bianchini is going to be starting 15th, followed by Brandon Bikey in 16th. 17th is going to be Paul Hill, followed by Anthony Federico. 19th is going to be Derek Heitman with Adam Benefield rounding out your top 20.
Bringing around 21, Johnny Baldrige in 21st position with Evgeny Mozganov in 22nd. 23rd, it's Cruz Cadell with 24th, Miller Bonds. 25th, James Houghton with 26th, Pedro Palladino. 27th, Lucas Mello. 28th, Raul Saraiva. And in 29th place, we have Adriano de Aguiar Gomez. Looking good.
That's a fun name right there.
It's a good name to round out on.
Adriano, man, that name rolls right off the tongue.
It does. It's easy. It's an easy one for a commentator to practice with. As we get a look at the grid here, the pace car is getting ready. Everyone's getting lined up to go. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying what you're seeing here on GridVision. Tell your friends. Spread the word. We love to spread the word about good racing here. And if you are racing, be sure to check out Ryco Performance Setup Shop, the official setup shop of GridVision. You Going to see that plastered over a couple of cars here tonight.
No, what I'm excited about is what's interesting to me, not so much exciting, but we've got a Xfinity Series SOF race regular in here tonight. We got Cruz Cadell. You know, typically you see him on Monday nights running the B Opens. This week, looks like he's keeping himself away from Lucas Oil Raceway, which might be a smart call on his part, based on how chaotic that place is. Kind of curious to see what he does here in the Cup car. I've never seen him in one before.
Yeah, okay. Well, then maybe this is new territory. We're going to get to see either new skills on display, or do you think maybe this will be something that shakes him up a little bit?
I don't know, man. He's so good in the B car. I feel like that would translate some kind of way to the Cup.
It probably has to. I would hope so. You got to feel like at this point, if you're at the top tier of just about any of these cars, you've got a natural instinct for it, and you're going to take that all the way to the top in just about anything you drive.
That guy's got a lot of talent, so it's going to be interesting to see.
Love it.
And a pretty strong front row here, too, with Patrick Gitter and Tommy Gossett up front. And Garrett Maines just behind him with Roman.
That's all right. I see that there. Nicholas Roman poised for a good position to be challenging once they get around here. I hear the engines revving, and we come around towards the grandstands. Get things ready, folks, on your feet. For tonight's race, the pace car is off. The lights are gone. And that's the green flag. Let's go, go, go. The first launch off the front. Looks like it's Tommy Gossett on the outside. He gets a bit of a nose, and he slides right into place, taking first. We're 3 wide behind him, though. Already falling back a little bit is the number 6, Joseph on the outside.
Got Maines looking up to the top side here on the outside of Gossett now, going to try and charge for it. They're going to go 3 wide with Gitter on the bottom into turn 3.
3 wide for the lead in the front there. That's the 13 of Tommy Gossett in second, just barely holding on. Down there, the number 4, Patrick Gitter on the inside line. He's been holding it as best he could from that launch. Great launch that he had, still 3 wide up at the front.
Yeah, right now for Gitter, it's going to be a conveyor belt back to the back. To run the bottom line here at Chicago, you need to be able to use every inch of the racetrack to your advantage. Right now, you see him, getting a good run with Gossett falling out of the middle now.
Yeah, falling back now. We have a 1-2-3 finally for the lead here as the cars are lining up a little bit. Still 3 wide, a little bit ways back, though. We take it back a little further. We've got Nat DiCiani on the outside. He was part of a 3 wide situation just a second ago, as it looks like things are calming down. But further back, we've got cars going down to the inside, still using that apron. Lots of cars on the field tonight are going to be using that apron to try to get a little bit of extra speed, a little bit of extra position, potentially on the inside. There at the front, though, Garrett Maines holding position with Shane Davis hot on his tail. Down on the inside, it looks like Peter Irons.
And right now, Maines looking strong here on the bottom, but Shane Davis continuing that momentum that he found last week. Ran really good all week at, I want to say it was Indy. And here he is charging to the outside right now, taking the lead from Garrett Maines.
Absolutely. A bit of a different line. One of them riding the high outside, the other one staying down and using that sort of gentle diamond pattern that we're used to seeing. Still taking it back out to the wall now is Garrett Maines. Really go back down to the inside? Yes, he does. Davis still riding the outside wall, maybe trying to save tire a little bit, not trying to push as hard, but he's at the front. He's going to be using tire no matter what. So we're going to see what his strategy is going to be as he pulls now about a car length or 2 ahead now of the pack of Brendan Bikey and Garrett Maines.
Maines almost had a really bad instant there. Came up, started to clear himself on Bikey. Bikey was there by just an inch. Heads up move for Maines to pull that thing down to the bottom to keep himself from getting turned head on into the wall.
Absolutely. Further back, the pack is still 2 wide by 2 wide by 2 wide. A little bit going on here. 13 of Tommy Gossett falling back a little bit.
Oh, we got a yellow.
Yellow is out. I missed what happened there. Looks like Anthony Federico might have had an issue.
That is a hard hit on that machine. That factory smoke.
Let's see what happens here. The GridVision revision. The 7. Ooh.
He just had a little more checkup there.
At the wall. Yep.
It's had a little more checkup there than the guy running behind him. Looks like it's the 22 machine behind him.
That's the 22. I wonder if a penalty would have been levied if this was a...
No, not so much. So what you saw there was the 7 machine got into the corner, and he backed it down just a little more abruptly than the 22 was expecting. The 22 was committed up there to that middle line. You can run a little more throttle up there in the middle of the line. It looked like the 7 was going to be trying to dive it down to the bottom, so you have to back it down a little more. And that was just one of those deals where misjudged closing rates really got the worst of them.
Good eye. Yeah, it was something I wouldn't have noticed at the first glance, but it definitely seems to be the case as he got turned, and that's probably going to be the end of the race. Or it would be potentially. I believe is
it's over for him. Once that factory smoke comes out, it's hell getting him back in the motor.
Oof. Yeah, it's supposed to stay in the engine block, not go out, or at least go out where you want it to go out, the exhaust pipe on the back of the car, the side of the car.
And also, I was talking about Cadell earlier. He is not alone. Consistent running mate of his, Trent Dinkle, is in here in the 28 car, up to 13th already.
Yeah, I see that. Dinkle started in 14th, moved up a position already. Caudell worked his way up out of the 20s into 19. So we got 2 teammates there. We'll be looking for them to be working together potentially if Caudell can move up a couple places. Maybe take advantage of this yellow, work his way up. We're on lap 7 out of 100 under yellow right now. Lights still out on the pace car, so we're going to go around one more time here as things are just starting to heat up, including the tires, hopefully, but now everybody's going to be cooling down a little bit, so it's going to be closer to the start of the race here in terms of tire heat and wear. Let's see. There we go. Now the lights are out. Things are spreading out. We're starting to get the familiar pattern put back together. Up at the front, Brandon Bikey is up 14 places from 16th to 2nd within just these first 7 laps. What a charge. That's something that I should be keeping my eye on.
That don't surprise me too much. There's one thing I've noticed watching these things every week. Brandon Bikey, I think he only knows where the loud pedal is on that car. That dude, he will slam that throttle down and keep it down as long as it'll let him.
That's what we like to see here. That's how we like to see him raced, and he's figured it out. Clearly up 14 places before the flag was even out. That's an impressive move. Another impressive driver, James Houghton, up 18 places. And a huge amount of driving being done there. He's in 6th place now as we get ready to get started here. Taking a bit of a breather. Here goes the pace car. Here come the boys. Let's get ready for the green flag, and here we go. Already slotting into 2nd place, Brandon Bikey looking for it. Holding on to that position as Shane Davis dives down.
Davis got a good launch there on that restart. Bikey's going to fall back a handful of positions here before he can get out turn 2. He's 3 wide up on the top, and here comes Mains to the bottom.
3 wide with Irons and Gitter there for a second. Gitter's been holding on to this sort of top 5, top 6 that he's been playing with since the beginning of the race. Love to see him holding on there. As at the front, we still have a 2 wide, 3 wide every once in a while. Looks like it's been 2 wide for a second. Garrett Mains now clearly in the front. He takes it back from Shane Davis.
And Mains with a really good charge down into turn 3 on the bottom to get up there and clear Shane Davis with kind of a slide job maneuver. Not going to work from here in 1 and 2, though. Davis is back up to the top. Going to take the spot coming back into turn 3 here.
Solid.
They're going to be nearly 3 wide coming out of 4.
Almost had it there, yeah. Solid exits there, and we're looking for that draft potentially. Down to the inside goes Pete Irons, looking for potentially an eye on Bike just to get away from the situation with Brandon Bikey on the outside. Now, Bikey on the outside, he's following the line being drawn by Shane Davis. And I think it's paying off for him in the long run. Stay close to the wall, stay on the outside, get that draft.
Yeah, the interesting thing about the lines here is I haven't ran Chicago personally with this car combination, but I know back in the day with the old Cup car, you'd start out, you'd run the bottom for a handful of laps, and it would cycle up to the top. I don't know if it's going to work the same way here. And no, we got 3 wide right now with Dinkle and Hoffman, and can't tell who that is on the bottom.
Dinkle, Hoffman,
looks like the 9.
Tommy Gossett is in there too. Down there on the bottom, we have Bianchini. Very, very tight there with the 3-wide situation. Down falls the 13 car. Tommy Gossett falls back, and they make room for him. He's down now to the inside, barely avoiding some situations there, almost checking up a few of the cars behind him as we come round into lap 13.
You cannot tell me that this track does not deserve to be put back on the NASCAR Cup Series schedule.
Oh, it absolutely does. It's really beautiful. You got a couple of different degrees of banking. It's nice and wide. It's fast. These guys have got to be going flat out almost all the way around here. And if the banking was just a little bit higher, they probably could.
Bikey threw a slider on Maines going into turn 3 there. Got in front of him. Slid back up the track. Maines got the crossover. Got the power now. Now Maines is on the bottom coming into turn 1.
Maines holding that bottom line. Bikey still up on the top line there.
Oh, Maines got loose.
Ooh, loose for a second. Humba's able to hold on to it, I think.
Big slide. I think he clipped the apron in the center.
All right. Clip the apron. That'll throw you off. You get 2 cars for a second. Your wheels are going to be, you're not going to get full patches on the ground. That transition point can be a real tricky one if you're not holding the wheel real steady.
Oh, it's terrible. It does everything to the car that you don't want to have happen to the car. Not only do you de-wedge the front end of the car, doing that throwing off your corner balance, you also get air stuffed up underneath it. And these things, they like to run sealed off, splitter down to the track as best as you can get it. As soon as you get a little bit of air underneath it, it kills you.
Oh my goodness. Well, we've got things almost, looks like the boys have got things pretty much sorted out, as we've got almost a string of pearls situation going on where it's very few 2-wide situations. Looks like we look a little back a little further, 13-14. We do have the we got Nicholas Roman next to the 21 of Cruz Cadell. They're doing the 2-wide dance for a second here. Roman looking for a place to get to that outside wall. He cannot quite fit the car there right now. Still not able to. That's looks like a team rivalry situation right now. They're 2-wide. Potentially, hopefully going to get a little bit of space. Nope, still pressuring each other. That on the outside, that's Derek Heitman.
He's attempting to pull him back with side draft. And it's not quite working side draft, not as strong in these cars as it is in real life, but some of us think it does a lot, some of us think it doesn't do anything, so it's kind of one of those sort of gray area deals, I guess. And tight there on the bottom for the 20 machine.
And up at the front, it looks like gonna give a quick update as the 76 pulls off a little bit there. I'm gonna give a quick update at the front. Brendan Bikey has taken the lead from Shane Davis. Got a replay here of that moment.
You see Bikey building up a good little bit of draft here. Going to dive it down to the bottom. Catch Shane up there up the top. Shane got into the wall just a little bit. Real easy to cross over that cushion and get up into the fence. That's all it took for Bikey to get by him.
There it goes. Bikey now on the outside. Davis using the apron a little bit now. The two of them really duking it out at the front of this race. No stages here. This is a regular old 100 race dash. But we are going to probably see some people pitting. And that's going to be, I forgot, 100 lap dash, excuse me.
Here we go, Bikey.
Yeah, Bikey just fell back there. I was about to say about when are we going to start to see some fatigue set in on these cars?
It's going to be fast. Here in the next handful of laps if it hasn't already started. And right now, Maines is doing what he does best. He's back there saving tires, letting these two heroes go up here and charge for this win early, knowing that they're going to wear their stuff out. And Maines is going to be here soon to scoop up the scraps.
You're absolutely right. Maines has been holding back as the two at front. Davis and Bikey have been duking it out. There's been a lot of back and forth. Who's going to take the inside line? Who's going to use the draft? Who's going to be pushing their way to the front? Bikey had a quick lead there, which he gave up pretty quickly, and I'm not sure if it was intentional or not. But now it looks like he's holding back a little ways, preferring to stay on his own line, preferring to do his own thing. Something that's going to probably pay off in the long run if he's using the Garrett Maines school of strategy right now, which is do what you got to do. Don't really react too much to the guys in front of you.
Well, the big thing, too, for Bikey is I think he's worn his stuff out. Like we were talking about a couple laps ago, he was the first guy to go up there and start charging the top and charging for positions. I mean, he had a massive net gain on that initial start, and I just think he's gone up there and burned that right rear off a little bit, and it's starting to become a little bit of a handful, and now Maine's charging him because he can't get the pedal down.
The lone Canuck, James Houghton, is on his way up as well. He's in 4th place right now. It's only a matter of time before he closes that distance, I think. If he can get in the tunnel with Garrett Maines, who's not really going to react too much, I'm thinking, to someone charging up that fast. He's not ready to unleash yet. It could be Houghton pulling up to Maines very soon and working his way into that podium position.
Once Houghton gets up to him, too, though, if it does happen, I don't see him having much of a fighting chance. I mean, it's Garrett Maines' brother.
That's true. That's fair.
That dude
That's
is
absolutely fair. He could hold him off all day if he wanted to.
That dude is something else.
Well, right now it looks like everybody's got things in a bit of a line. Let's go ahead and jump back a little bit, see where the scrapping is going on. The scrapping is happening between Roger Pierce and on the outside there, Cruz Codell. It's a little bit of that as well.
Cadell trying to fight to get his way up into the top 10. His teammate, or I think teammate, his buddy up here. I know that at least because the two race together. A couple spots ahead, Trent Dinkle right behind Clayton Hoffman.
Looking back a little ways, looks like Lucas Mello is putting it almost had it 3 wide there with Johnny Baldridge and Adriano. They're in the back of the pack. Just as much hard racing going on there as much as it's in the front. Lots of close calls.
Nice little bows all over this track. And, oh, tight right there. The 25 on the inside of Baldridge.
Yikes.
That was almost a problem.
Back here at the back still. This is, yeah, back here. This little battle.
Oh, Johnny really loose.
Baldridge now barely able to hold on to the outside there. The 29 just past him. Is he going to slide in now? It looks like he is. Going to give up his position on the outside. Looking now on the inside. Baldridge looking for the 29. He ain't going to ride,
though. Johnny's one of the most aggressive guys you'll see out here. And it tends to bite him on the hand more than it helps him, but he don't give up, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're seeing some hard driving here out of Johnny Baldridge. Good luck there, Johnny.
Oh, this is shaping up to be something. Hoffman with a huge push to the back end of the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter. Trying to get by. Who was that, Houghton? Yeah, it's Houghton.
Houghton holding on there.
It's Ryco paints, man. They're still confusing me. Oh, Gitter just about got into Houghton. And here comes Hoffman. Right. Lining up a charge here on the bottom, going into 3. He's going to get clear of Gitter.
Hoffman's clear, but he does not have quite enough speed to be challenging Houghton's position yet. Going to fall in line down to the apron. Dives Dinkle. Heavy dive. He's back up safely, though. Almost up into the outside of Irons. Irons looking to just get the nose. Ooh, Irons big loose across the nose of Dinkle. He does not lose it, though. He holds on. Barely holds on.
Nope. Here comes Cadell. Diving to the bottom of Dinkle. Man, these two have so many laps against each other. It's cool to see this. Both of them running the same real estate right now, battling for position. I mean, heck, if we finish this thing in time, we'll get to see this again with the B Open, possibly, in another hour or two. So,
right, very intense. Down goes Cadell to the apron for a second, bouncing back up there. Really impressive to see Irons hold on to that. With that big slide there, he was almost lost it. It looks like a little bit of wall
he put it in the fence.
Oh, he's having a rough day.
Dinkle really saved his life there, though. He could have charged that and put him into a bad spot getting into turn 3, but Trent rolled out of it, seeing that the 7 got into the wall. Didn't want to cause any commotion.
Love it. Love to see it. It's competitive racing, but it's safe racing. Got to have a little bit of both. You want to keep doing it.
A lot of high IQ moments out here. Dinkle knows he wants to stay up there on the top, not wear his tires down there in the bottom, trying to get by the 7. And it looks like it's going to work out for him as the 7 slides way up the track coming out, too.
Oof, down he goes. Up there at the front of the race. Let's not discount what's going on here. Brendan Bikey is in the lead. Or excuse me, Brendan Bikey is in second place, challenging Shane Davis. Davis now still holding on to a pretty strong lead. It's still the 1, 2, 3 of Davis, Bikey, and Maines, where behind them seems to be where all the action's at. Houghton still holding the outside line. Here comes number 4, Patrick Gitter. He's looking in the inside line, maybe potentially going to cause some trouble there. Big contact between Maines and Houghton. Big bump.
Yeah, Houghton just giving, Teammate a little push down the straightaway, trying to keep those RPMs up, try to help him move forward. Kind of lost the nose coming into turn 3, which really hurt him there.
What a bump that was. That would have rattled anybody up a little bit there. But it looks like when it's teammate to teammate and you kind of know it's coming a little bit, it works out perfectly. That big spin there, was not a big spin there. Ended up being a little bit of a benefit. Like you said, keep those RPMs up. Look for that bump. Down to the inside goes the number 1, Garrett Maines. He's got a good amount of speed. Not enough, though.
If Vikey wasn't there, man.
Oh,
that would have been a huge net gain for Maines. But, man, Vikey fighting back hard on the outside line. Going to get right back in line behind Shane Davis. But Maines is not giving up.
Into the wall. Into the wall goes Shane Davis. Loss of speed.
Oh, that's going to create a huge cork here in front of everybody.
Massive loss of speed from Shane Davis as he goes into the wall. Garrett Maines takes the lead. Patrick Gitter in second now. Bikey. Wow, that was a big scrape. Huge scrape that led to a massive change of position there. Garrett Maines capitalizing, shooting to the front. Like you said, this is Garrett Maines we're talking about here. He was waiting for his moment. That was it. That was moment number 1 for Garrett Maines.
Yeah, it's going to happen to Bikey here, too, if he's not careful. Running real close to that fence on the outside, side by side with Gitter. Gitter's going to slide back up, get right to his door. Gitter's not going to have momentum. That outside line is cooking right now.
It is. Gitter's losing speed. He's not losing speed, but he's losing positions. The speed on the outside was just very, very quick there. Now he's down to the inside, though. He's got enough to get ahead, it looks like. Put him just ahead of Shane Davis there, who's trying to get his place back as best he can. Shane Davis next to Houghton. Houghton on the outside. Down now to the inside, looking to speed past Gitter. He's got it.
And this is all it takes. What you saw with Shane Davis. One slight microscopic error when you're running that close to the fence. That's the difference between first and fifth, as you're seeing right now.
Oof. Yeah, absolutely. And what could have been a much bigger wreck, the fellas all checked up around it, thankfully, and cushioned of what could have been a much larger fall. Davis ended up holding on to a top 5 or at least a top 10 position, opting not to fall too far back or not to lose control of the car, thankfully. I shouldn't say opting. I'm sure it was a battle from top to bottom inside that vehicle at that time. Looking up a little bit further now.
2 guys that got really hurt by that, too, as Trent Dinkle and Clayton Hoffman, because they both dove down to the bottom to avoid the wreck, got stuck there on the bottom. Now they're just kind of going backwards until they can find a spot to tuck in.
Let's see if Dinkle and Hoffman can get tucked in and find their positions as we keep things rolling here. It is currently lap 37 of 100 at Chicagoland on GridVision. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. It's me, Joe LaCastro. I'm here with Sheldon Atkins. How's it going?
It's going pretty good, buddy.
I'd say so. It's going great for you. It's going great for me. It's not going so great for Brandon Bikey, who during the break has fallen back to 5th place.
I mean, that's just the thing, man. You get up there, get so aggressive with them tires fast, and it doesn't take a long time for it to catch up with you here at this track. And Roman is hounding Garrett Maines right now for the lead.
Wow, Nicholas Roman, he's right there. That's my pick. He's hounding him. That's a good way to put it. Good use of the word, because he is not letting off the scent there. Doesn't need to follow the line. Knows that he's there.
He's going to build a huge run up there on the top in 1 and 2. He's going to dive down to the bottom here in 3 and 4. I think he's going to try and slide him. Maines is going to pinch him down to the apron, though. Not giving each other room. Roman had to lift.
Had to lift as either that or spin the car. And neither of them want that right now. There's no planned stops tonight. We're going all the way. It's 46 out of 100 here at Chicagoland Speedway.
That's the last thing you want to do in the middle of the season like this, too, is to create some kind of inter-team drama.
Oh, my goodness. If that's is that the classic Conti versus Ryco team drama right there? We don't want to ignite that.
Oh, no. That had been a Ryco on Ryco assault if Roman had slid up the track there a little bit. But I think Maines would have. Maines is pretty smart, He knows that if you put him in that position, it'd be kind of on him to an extent.
I was looking for that red-on-red paint for a second there just to make sure that was two Ryco guys there. We got 2 Ryco guys in the top right now, at least. Looks like Roman and Houghton holding on to the 2nd and 3rd place positions. Right now, behind Garrett Maines.
Setup shop is pretty well represented right now. You got Ryco up here in the top 3. 4th, you got Team Conti with Gitter, and 5th, you got Nitro with Hoffman. And not sure about the 2 behind that, and more Ryco. Everybody's running good this week.
So we'd like to see nice mix of manufacturers too in the top. Nice mix of teams in the top 5, top 10. It's a good week of racing going on right now.
You love to see the diversity, because the diversity in sets means competitive fields, competitive stacks. Different teams set things up different ways, and it's good to see them go out there and run it.
That's what we like. A little competition really goes a long way in a sport like this. Don't want one person to quite dominate too much. You like to see the split. Speaking of the split here, we got cars splitting their way down to the apron. Back up, quick, very quick there. Almost closing the door on him there. That was number 12. Pierce.
Move Hoffman up to P4 right now in front of Gitter.
Hoffman trying his best, working his way up there.
He's been really aggressive on the tire saving here too, from what I've seen.
Also in the top has been Tommy Gossett, who's been working his way up. He's passed for position. He's made up positions, about 3 positions now in the last couple of turns here. He's working his way back up to where he started, trying his best to get up there.
Here in the midseason, Gossett has really brought a lot more speed every week. From what I've heard from other sources, he really started to put his nose to the grindstone here, trying to figure out the things he's missing. And honestly, he's on a really competitive level if he can just minimize the mistakes and get through these things.
That's what we like to see. And hopefully, if he can minimize the mistakes tonight, he'll be able to hold on to his position and maybe even turn a 5th place position into a podium. He's close enough that it's within throwing distance. Behind him also is Patrick Gitter, now diving down to the inside of Gitter actually is that's Irons. Irons not quite able to make the pass though, falling back into place behind Tommy Gossett. Or, excuse me, that was Irons.
Yes, Gitter. Irons is behind Gitter.
Thank you.
Gitter's really fading pretty bad here at the end of this stint right now.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Falling off a little bit from a previously strong position he had early on now. He's sitting 6th, and he's being challenged left and right on the inside by Pete Irons there. Irons takes the position now, holds it. Let's see if Gitter's going to slide back up. Not quite as much speed as he needs. There we go. Irons going to lose that position also to...
All eyes on Bikey right now. Let's see what happened.
That's a good question.
That is, I don't know if that was an attempted pit entry, but that, you're not making it from that angle, buddy.
Little last-minute pit entry attempt. He's back on the track, and he's trying to go full speed again. So whatever was going on, it was definitely not intentional.
Let's see if he pits here.
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, we're definitely at the window.
We got eyes back up forward a little bit now. Let's see what's going on with the rest of the pack here. We do have some cars pitting. That looks like it's going to be Patrick Gitter. It's going to be Matt DeCiani. Both deciding to head into the pits now at this time. Bikey, not amongst those heading in the pits.
That's, put a question mark on that one.
Big question mark. Maybe he dropped his coffee in the car.
Maybe. Spilled his macchiato.
That's what made him spin off the road there. That's always my assumption, is that maybe there was a spider in the car, or they dropped their coffee.
I hate when that happens.
It's either one or the other.
Here we got Hoffman and Schneider battling. Schneider's going to get the upper end on it right now. Dive back there on the bottom. Get a good run.
Holding onto that position. Clayton Hoffman still with eyes on here in the backstretch. He's got the speed.
Gossett's up to P4 now.
I'm telling you, Gossett has been making plays over the last about 3 or 4 laps. He's moved up 2nd place now. He's in 2nd place thanks to Garrett.
Lear's on pit road with 2nd. Roman's in there behind him.
Yep. We got everybody pitting here. Houghton taking the lead only from that situation, so it's going to be only a matter of time before he has to go ahead and pit in himself here. Main's in,
handful
Roman
of cars.
in, Dinkle in.
Dinkle.
Bonds, Benefiel, Gomez.
Bikey finally did pit from the looks of it. That's a pretty cool little drone camera we got there.
Love it. Catching up with the activity on pit row.
Got a whole bunch of Ryco red here. Looks like we got Gossett and Joseph squared. Followed by, is that a Seminario?
Yep.
Seminario.
Back out on the track. Let's take a look at how things are shaping up. Whew. It's a fast in there.
That's pushing it as far as you can push it without it pushing back at you.
Yeah, really. That's going to get him. I was going to say that must have been a ticket waiting to happen, or at least a black flag waiting to happen.
Right now, Hoffman leading this thing with 9th place. Bezgonev? Haven't seen that name yet.
Evgeny.
Oh, Shane Davis is going to thread him right in the middle there. Hoffman bringing it in.
Shane Davis. Hoffman's in now. Davis holding on to 3rd place. Heitman a little ways ahead of him. And right now,
Davis
it's Evgeny Mozganov.
Davis is on fresh tires, I do believe. I think he's going to cycle out to be the leader here until the guys that just took fresh catch up to him.
And the only person who hasn't yet pit in this race is there's only 2 people, and it's Cruz Claudel and Evgeny. Looks like Evgeny here at the lead. He's going in now. I eat my shoe as Evgeny goes ahead and pits. Goes ahead and pits. Haha. Cruz Claudel, though, still out, still driving hard. He's getting chased.
He's had a pit. I don't know how he would have lost a lap.
guess so.
He just hit with that undercut. A lot of these guys hitting with the undercut, trying to find time that they didn't have on the rest of the field there. Question is it going to bite them on the back or not?
Yeah, more often than not, if they're pushing themselves too hard, we could see that happen. Behind Claudel right now, it's Roman, so he's going to have to deal with that in a second because Roman's definitely going to catch up to him. He's only about 7/10 behind him.
I will say it's another week where Davis has been really impressive.
That's Shane Davis up 8 positions now. He's holding on to second. Derek Heitman in first. Heitman one of the first to pit as well on lap 43.
No, I like that strategy too. You know, it's a good strategy because, you know, running 10th, 15th, man, you're not going to be able to pass the leader. You got to find something to give you some kind of an advantage.
Yep, take the edge.
And, you know, if they have a caution within the next 10 or so laps before they get to them, man, it's, you know, like you just hit the dang lottery.
Absolutely. Yeah, he found the edge and he took it. Pitting on 43 was not a bad idea considering here we are at 61 out of 100 right now. 62 out of 100 as we cross the line there. Heitman at the front, Davis, then Garrett Maines, Nicholas Roman, and 5th place, Cruz Cadell. Heitman
Right
and
now.
Cadell both up 18 places from their original starting places, both charging very hard tonight.
And right now riding with the 22 machine, or well, we were, of Palladino. As he wraps it off into turn 3 here behind Irons.
Everybody's looking okay. Things are very spread out here. It would take a yellow to kind of squeeze things up here. Heitman is a full 2.5 seconds ahead of Shane Davis right now at the front, just racing a man alone up there at the front of the racetrack. In front of him, a full almost 10 seconds away, is Brendan Bikey, who fell back to the back of the end of the course. Not on his own. Not exactly sure why exactly it happened, but we saw it happen. Bikey once at one point was in contention to potentially win this thing. He was battling it out with Shane Davis at the front, left, and right, then fell back a huge number of places, spun out into the grass.
Oh, we got a yellow.
And the yellow is out.
Oh, the O2 machine. Darby, you bit one.
Darby's good mojo. Spreading his way
There he is.
down here.
Inside of Dinkle. Gets a little bobble there. Gets loose. Slides right back up.
Wow.
Trent Dinkle. Unfortunate recipient there.
Yeah, really got loose there. Maybe up into the marbles on the track.
That's a shame, too. I was hoping he'd run good tonight.
Let's see it from the inside. From Schneider's point of view here.
Just caught that
Loosey-goosey.
apron just a hair, and there you go.
Not much you can do about it. Off to the pits they go.
These two are arguing pretty profusely right now over that one.
Ho-ho. Some spicy words being exchanged. And we're going to take it to one last commercial break here, folks. 65 out of 100 at Chicagoland Speedway on GridVision. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
All right, everybody, welcome back. 68 out of 100. We're almost to the last stretch here at Chicagoland Speedway. I'm Joe Castro, joined by Sheldon Atkins. How you doing, Sheldon?
Same as what's a couple minutes ago. Hanging in there. Ready to see some exciting racing here to the finish.
Love it. Up in the booth, we got Austin Darbyshire bringing you the best that GridVision has to offer. And here in front of you, you've got the top tier NASCAR Class A drivers giving you the best that iRacing has to offer. They're coming around now. Getting ready in that beautiful double back line. Soon, the pace car will be off. Soon, we will be racing yet again. Evgeny Mozganov in first place, Garrett Maines in second, James Houghton third, Derek Heitman fourth, and Clayton Hoffman in the top 5 there. It's green, green, green here at Chicagoland, though. Let's see what happens. Evgeny with a big launch off the front.
Mozganov going to pull about 0.2 of a second out coming here into 1 and 2, but he's going to get reeled back in pretty quick by the 41 machine of Houghton. Houghton battling Maines. Maines up on the top. Side by side. Going to charge it down here into 3.
Side draft, is anything to say? It looks like Maines took advantage of it for a second. However, Houghton still on the inside, has got the overall faster line there. Touch, potentially, yes, contact between Garrett Maines and Derek Heitman.
Very critical area of the track to make contact, too. Very lucky that Maines didn't go around in front of the field because the cars are so light on the back end when you get on the flat.
That's what I was worried about as well. That little bit of contact could have resulted in a big spin. We've seen it at least once tonight already. Most recently, the yellow flag that got us here was a touch to the back of the car that had a big spin. Oh, bit of looseness back there.
Roman all but bend that thing in 3 and 4.
Absolutely. What attempted to be some fast driving looks more like loose driving. The car wiggling intensely as he was going around 3 and 4 there. Able to maintain control there, just dropping back a little bit to get in behind Patrick Gitter.
I think he's got bees in the car. Might be the problem.
That's right, bees. A storm of bees would be a perfect excuse for that wiggling back and forth. There at the front,
Everybody tapering.
Derek Heitman makes the pass for 5th from Patrick Gitter. Holding on to it now. Heitman a name from the back of the pack as well. He's up 14 places now. We are 2 by 2 with Heitman and Gitter at the front of that pack, leading Davis and Vroman. Davis down to the inside, Vroman on the outside now. He takes up that place and speeds past him. Is he going to get that position? Looks like
Houghton with a huge charge to the bottom. Threw Mozganov off. He's going to fall back now. He's side by side with Hoffman for second.
Mozganov now in 3rd, where he was once leading just a minute ago.
And here comes Hoffman with a huge charge to the bottom.
Hoffman holding on to it, looking to fight between Houghton. It's the battle of the H's here at the front. James Houghton versus Clayton Hoffman. Bit of give and go between the two of them.
Could have gotten down there to the bottom and gotten to the paint on the line. He would have been able to do it, but slid up just a little bit, getting into 3. The bumps, really difficult to get the car down there while challenging. Now he's going to be on the outside of Maines, and Maines is going to steam past him into 1.
Going to work hard to get past him there now. Maines down on the inside, Houghton on the outside. He doesn't quite have the speed he wants. Behind them, they're still lining up a little bit. It's almost too wide. We're too wide for the lead. Now we're too wide for second there as Hoffman and Maines side by side. They're up near the wall there. It's Evgeny. He's falling back a few more positions now. He's in 6th. Houghton in front. followed by Hoffman, followed by Maines. Maines down to the apron. He's going to be able to safely get back up. Yes, the answer is.
And Hoffman right there, smart move. He saw that Maines was still there on his inside, coming through 3 and 4. Went down
Gitter.
low to kind of pinch off that exit. And here comes Gitter charging to the inside now of Heitman.
Thought he had 2 places there. He fell out of place. Now wasn't able to hold on to it. Maines pushing him down to the inside a little bit. Maines making it 3 wide now. Trying to find that position between them. He's almost got it. Oh, Gitter. Gitter almost loses it. Falls down.
Gitter just sacrificed himself to avoid smoking Maines in front of the pack there. They got really close. Gitter got really tight on the bottom, and honestly, you could have thrown a piece of paper between those cars and stapled it together. Wouldn't have been any different than what we saw.
Absolutely. Now it's door to door. It's Houghton and Hoffman at the front. Hoffman slightly behind here. Maybe the inside will get him that extra space. But then coming off of these turns, it's going to be all the speed that Houghton needs. Looking back here at Maines and Heitman, 2 wide. Very, very close here. Maines squeezing, but then back down to the inside. Heitman following him down there.
Maines going to pull in the side draft, get tucked up behind Hoffman here in 1 and 2. Going to stay down the bottom, try to nurse that thing through, get himself back up here to the front. Looking pretty strong right now.
Almost a little bit of rubbing there, door to door here at the front. It is still 2 by 2 with the leader right next to Hoffman, and behind them, Heitman and Maines. Lap 77 out of 100 here at Chicagoland. Approaching the last 22 laps here in NASCAR Class A top split.
Paratoilet is working as hard as they can to get anything done there on the bottom. Not quite able to do it, though. That outside line is so strong right now, and you end up bogging the motor down so much on that bottom that you can't really do it on the straightaway, but you could just about get them clear coming through the corner.
There's so much shuffling going on the field right now. We take it back a little bit ways. We are 2 by 3 in the back, starting with Shane Davis's pack there. From 5th back to 9th, we're practically 2 wide all the way back.
Oh, Hoffman just about does it. Hoffman just about got it done there. Coming out too. See if he can do it in 3. He's got him clear from the looks of it. If he can just slide up in time, he's going to do it. Move Hoffman to the lead.
That's it. Hoffman now down to the apron, holding on to that little bit of extra distance that he can cut off the track. He's going to try to hold on to this lead as long as he possibly can, probably to the very end, but the challenger is going to be right there behind him. The lead extending now slightly to 0.2 of a second now. Hoffman versus Houghton. Davis is in the wall, though. Still looking green as Davis takes a hit. Maybe we can get a real quick eyes on that situation. Might be able to get a replay on that, but Davis took a quick bounce into the wall. And everybody's still up.
Hoffman's kind of pulling away right now. Maines is charging, though. If Maines can get up to second, man, it's going to be really difficult for Hoffman to hold this thing off. But if it plays out like it did, Maines is in second now. One in the fence. Looked like Houghton. Oh, we got a yellow.
We got yellows now. We're watching the replay. We're going to have to get caught up there. There's the big grind. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and right now,
grind that cost him.
And Bikey still somehow finds a way to get in it.
3 wide down there. You can see Bikey next to the 29.
Well, let's see what happens with this yellow.
They're holding on to it as best they can. Yeah, well, let's see this yellow here.
We got a big stack. Oh, what's in front? Cadell got turned in front of Roman. Oh, huge. Shane Davis is out. Bikey destroyed. A lot of good cars just got tore up there.
Yep. Looks like Roman is still on his feet after that. Not in any contending position at the moment, but he's still driving. Oh.
Cadell went
low. Wildness.
There was a car right in that hole, and I just don't think that he thought that he was there. Such a quick move, and just heartbreaking. Both him and Dingle ran really well in their, I guess, one of their first SOF appearances, and both of them just out.
It was a good-looking race for a while there. Everybody holding it down, but these tires will catch you. And if you get loose, Well, you got only a couple of chances. You have about a split second to save it. We've seen some saves tonight. We haven't quite seen. We didn't see that one. Cody Terland asks, aren't they teammates?
Oh,
Guys who got into it there.
Maine's going to get the lead back on pit road here. Huge break for him. Hoffman was not going to make it easy for him to get that lead back, I can tell you that.
No, not at all. Gonna fight him for it. Maines, though, now out and about. Hoffman second, Houghton third. As we wait for things to stack up here. Going into the last 20 laps. 83 out of 100. It's been a good mix. We've had some solid racing. We've had some good switching. We've had some saves. We've had some big wrecks. This was probably the biggest wreck we've had all night so far.
Yeah, it's just a shame to see so many good cars get tore up. A lot of guys that were running really strong all night.
That's the wheel of fortune, my friend. It does come around every once in a while for everyone. Even the best cars in the race, sometimes you're going to get caught up in an unfortunate situation like this, and then we're going to have a completely new top, or we're going to have a completely new set of people who've never challenged for the top before, getting a chance to take some stabs at guys like Garrett Maines there up at the top of the list.
Yep. Then, hey, my pick right now, Jay to the second power, moved himself up to 10th place.
Joseph
that chaos.
Good. When I see him, I like to pick him. Got to stand up for the Joes in the crowd, right? That's how I like to do it. Looks like the lights are out.
I can imagine there's a handful of you all out there.
Just a few. And we got to band together.
It's a tough break for Roman, though, too.
Yeah.
Especially with the points positions being the way they are right now.
Nicholas Roman now. Very far back. He's in 24th now, down 19 places. Up at the front, we've got Garrett Maines, Clayton Hoffman, James Houghton, Evgeny Mozganov, and Patrick Gitter as we get the green flag at Chicagoland. Let's go, go, go. Down to the inside goes Garrett Maines.
Maines with a good launch, but not able to clear. Hoffman's still up on the outside. Maines just tried to pull a block on him and wasn't able to do it.
3 wide behind them, though. That's Gitter, Houghton, and Mozganov for a second. Now we're straightening it out, but we're still 2 wide there, as it looks like Houghton's going to fall back a few positions, give people a little bit of a checkup. Irons falling back, almost getting a nose full of Houghton there. But
and that was almost contact.
Back up. Almost there. Very close. Down to the inside goes the number 4. We keep getting these split moments here where some cars are going to be shooting down to the inside and looking for that position that they can get. Potentially trying to slingshot past into the wall. That was Irons, I think. Yellow flag now. Yo, I see it. I see it happening back there. Another wreck. People are getting antsy here towards the end of the race.
Don't tell me it was Tommy. Tommy and Johnny.
Johnny.
Oh, huge hit from Bikey.
And Bikey.
He was
just
already
getting. Getting clapped up in the situation. There's the wreck. Down to the inside. He tries to come back a little bit. Ends up costing everyone. A little back of the pack action for you. Now that's sorting itself out. It's 87 out of 100.
Bikey proving that statement I made earlier about the loud pedal.
Yep, he knows where it's at, that's for sure. There's one that that's a little quieter. It's in the middle. You don't want to use it every once in a while. As the guys come back around, get things lined up for the last 12 laps of this top split race. We have another race coming up after this for your folks' enjoyment.
And we'll have us a little Xfinity series from Lucas Oil Raceway. Should be an interesting show. Pretty cool track.
I won't be
A handful
calling
of
it, but I
different
will
grooves
tune in.
and a lot of bumps.
Always love those bumps on the raceway, changing the way that they feel. The difference often between when I race legacy tracks and modern tracks is how bumpy are those legacy tracks usually. First thing I notice is the bumpiness on them, and that's something so characteristic of some of those tracks, and yet I hate it so much.
It's great. I really wish that when iRacing goes to scan tracks, they'd give it about 4 or 5 years after the repave before they actually go and scan them. Let them build a little bit of character before we get a fresh coat of pavement.
Was about to say, wait for them to get some characteristics built up on them, a little bit more, character from famous moments and just general racing building up on it. Not
These
a bad way
places
to handle it.
These places get to be so much fun once the pavement's old and worn out.
Fun
like the surface.
Sounds very subjective there.
Oh man, look, I'd rather have to work for it behind the wheel than stick the pedal down and turn left.
Hey, that's fair.
We just came back from Kentucky last week, right? It's where B Open ran all week, and we had the legacy version of Kentucky where it pretty much feels like Kentucky highways compared to the repave that we got in 2016, and that's smooth as silk. And I'll tell you what, I had fun. Love Kentucky, love the configuration, but God, I was missing the bumps all week.
Well, I'm sure that they missed you too, my friend, and they're all for you. I'll take. I guess I'm kind of boring like that. I do like a bit of a smoother racetrack. Those bumps, I don't know. Maybe I just got to get used to them more. There is something to them. It is more work to it. You have to worry more about traction changes and where on the track is this bump. Is it in 1, 2, 3, 4? This is where the individual characteristics of each track really shine. And on some of these flatter tracks, you just got to get. It's more about racing against the other drivers than about racing against the track itself. And sometimes you miss a little bit of a layer of the race when you don't have that extra layer of the track fighting against you.
It's like when you go to make, cook dinner, if you get chicken, so to speak, right? Are you going to season your chicken, or you're just going to boil the thing and not put anything on it?
I like that analogy. I think that's a damn good one. We're going to hold on to that. Seasoned chicken. That's
also a roast to a lot of people out there, too. Season your chicken, people. Come on, it's 2024.
It's about time. Lawry's, it's in the spice aisle. You literally just go buy it and put it on. No problem.
A little bit of Cajun, a little bit of Italian. Makes a nice little mix.
Easy peasy.
A little bit of spice. It's good. Do it. Come on. Let's work on it, guys.
We've got some wiggling going on from Evgeny Mozganov. We got a Clayton Hoffman, Garrett Maines. Let's start at the top and work my way down. Maines, Hoffman, Gitter, Mozganov, Houghton. That is the top set.
I would have to recommend Gates Extra Hot barbecue sauce. It's amazing.
Gates Extra Hot barbecue sauce. You heard it here. Green flag.
Oh, Hoffman did not get a good start there. Goodness.
Really bad start there.
Maine's really pushing off, and these guys are 3, 4. Oh, huge wreck into turn 1. Vroman's in it.
First things first.
Oh.
Yellow flag on the first turn. 91 out of 100. Vroman's involved.
That's just that outside line got so stacked up, and it created a domino effect all the way through the field. You see him try to get 3 wide here, trying to capitalize on it.
Yep.
And just boom.
Wow.
No, we're about to see the onboard of that 27 machine, though, because that was spotter didn't tell us kind of deal. Or something.
It's kind of what it seemed like. Yeah, well shoot. Very well put, Brandon Green. That's about as far as we made it.
Speaking of the Gates Extra Hot, that was extra spicy for sure for a restart.
About as spicy as it gets. Barely even not even get through the first turn of lap, first turn of turn one.
Yeah,
turn of
that's
lap
just
one after the restart.
that's just one of them deals. You have something go up there at the front, and it's nobody's fault, really, right? Like, nobody goes up to a restart box and says, "Man, I don't want to get a great restart." Then everybody gets impatient behind that. Then everybody sees that one line stacking and going slow, so they want to dive down into the next lane to try and get by. The guys are stuck up top, and next thing you know, everybody's absolutely getting killed, and it's just because 10, 15 guys decided not to think, diving into the first turn.
Yeah, you're going to get caught up in that group mentality sometimes, especially when there's a bad start. The first thing you think is like, well, I don't want to be part of this bad start, so here I go.
Yeah, that's why, me personally, if the guy in front of me doesn't get a good launch, I'm just going to take it 3 on the top.
Just get around it.
Avoid that stack up a little bit and get yourself a good position. I'm selfish. What can I say?
Well, that pays off more often than not in that kind of situation when when someone has really, really, really beefed it and just hasn't taken the start that they need to, and they're costing a whole line of cars. You got to be the car with the initiative, and if you're not the car with the initiative, then you're the car in the middle of the wreck.
And it is just also so hard to determine when to go too. Like if you're third place, fourth place, you have a tremendous advantage on the guy in second place because you see what Lear's doing. You can launch it. If you're sitting there in second place up on the top, not only do you have to keep up with the scrutiny that the officiating hits you with, but you've also got the fact that you're not seeing the leader, and everybody else is going to be reacting before you do because they can get away with it. You can't.
That's very true. Coming back around now, we're going to have, looks like 2 to green here at Chicagoland. Have we lost anybody as a result of that wreck?
No, I think a few cars got really beat up there. 27 machines on pit road. They're trying to find his front bumper here. It's outside of turn 1. It's going to take them a minute to find that. Here we see it again. 27, 3 wide there. A little bit of contact. That's what caused it. Contact with the car on the outside of the 23. And just around they go.
Nothing to be done.
And I think that was Benefield. They got caught up in that too, which is a darn shame.
Pitting right now,
Indeed it was.
Brendan Bikey and Shane Davis.
Yeah, they're pitting for damage right now because they got tore up in that last one.
Davis taking tires. And Bikey getting the dents pounded out.
Somebody just blew a motor on pit road. Turn your car off when you get it worked on, folks.
Who was that? It might have been Adam Benefield.
That's rough. Had a pretty good run going today.
Sitting back in 24th, down 4 places, unfortunately. That blown engine will do it for you. Lights are out. Lights are out. We got a crew who's got the wiggles.
Fruit salad?
That's right. That's right. Clayton Hoffman getting things started, keeping those tires alive. As we come around 4 into the stretch. No interviews tonight from tonight's race, unfortunately, folks. We're going to be rolling right into the next race. Pace car is off. And there's the green, green, green as we get some cars down to the apron already. Garrett Maines, the main one to look out for. He's got a nice, huge lead. 3 wide, a little ways behind him, though.
Oh, they're a little ways behind him, right behind him. It's going to be 3 wide for third place right now. Gitter up on the top. Inside's going to be Musganov and Houghton in the middle.
Out in the center of that Oreo sandwich. He's holding on to it, trying not to get up into the outside. Now down to the inside. He can't find a place.
Just up in to get her.
Houghton up in to get her. He's just trying to find a place to put the car. Now he's safe. Down to the inside goes the 18th. 4 wide now for a second. Brings the 18th of Yakov Kirsanov. Kirsanov trying real hard there on the inside to get some positions up. He's up 8 places. He's in 4th now. Mozganov holding on to 3rd. Whereas at the front, we've got Maines and Hoffman finally lined up. And then again, further back, we're looking at a 3 wide position again. This time,
They're still beating
contact.
each other. Oh, man, Gitter's getting frustrated now because he's handful of corners in a row. He's gotten the door knocked off him by one of them red and black machines on his inside.
Gitter just
He's going to pinch tight.
getting pinched tight, very, very tight there with Joseph.
And he's
Joseph
going to
Square
fight
going
back
on.
with Joseph here. Shoot him down the lane.
Gitter dives to the inside, trying to follow him down. Irons on the outside. Joseph bouncing a little bit back and forth. Can't quite find his line. He's the center of the 3 wide sandwich now. Falling back between another one. Once again, the center here with Seminario and Heitman.
Oh, we got 2 coming to 1 to go now, and the battle for the lead is hotter than it's been in a while. Hoffman
Laps to go.
on the back end of Maines right now down the front straightaway.
Hoffman looking for it. They are a few tenths away from the cars behind them. Just 2 tenths separating the leads here as we're coming around. Final lap here at Chicagoland Speedway. It's Garrett Maines, Clayton Hoffman, Evgeny Mozganov. Behind them, it looks like there's some cars stacking up, potentially a little bit of changing going on, but at the front, again, it's Garrett Maines. Maines and Hoffman holding on to 1st and 2nd place, coming around 3 and 4. It's going to be, looks like it's going to be the 1 and 2. Yes, sir. Garrett Maines is going to win it here at Chicagoland. 2nd place is going to be Clayton Hoffman. 3rd, Evgeny Mozganov. 4th, Peter Irons.
We got cars spinning out of 4.
And I think we've got some wrecking going on. Yep. We've got some wrecking going on. It's been a heck of a race. Garrett Maines winning it here at the checkered flag at Chicagoland. Phew. What a race, folks. Here comes our winners. And what's your, I think we're going to be able to get in an interview with our winner here in a little bit.
He's doing a whole extra lap here. Gonna try and drift it.
Oh, take it around.
Just
Can
about.
he get it? Can he get it? Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
That's
Well done. As he spins it across the line. Big celebration for our winner, Garrett Maines. Here come the results from tonight's race, folks. 1st place, Garrett Maines. 2nd, Clayton Hoffman. 3rd, Evgeny Mozganov. 4th, Peter Irons. 5th, James Houghton. 6th, Patrick Gitter. 7th, Yakov Kirsanov. 8th, Johan Seminario. 9th, Derek Heitman. And 10th, Matt DeCiani.
11th place from Joseph, followed by Johnny Bodridge in 12th. Decent recovery after that wreck earlier. 13th is going to be Jacob Schneider, followed by Tommy Gossett. Wilhelmi Biancaccini. I'm going to get that one of these days. Miller Bonds is going to be 16th. 17th is going to be Nicholas Roman, followed by Roger Pierce, Shane Davis, and Paul Hill. Round out your top 20.
That's beautiful. Top 20. Let's go around to 21. 21st, Adriano de Aguilar Gomez. 22nd, Brandon Vikey, who was way up toward the front earlier. 23rd, Pedro Palladino. 24th, Edwin Benefiel. 26th, Lucas Mello. 25th, Raul Saravia. I'm going to have trouble with that one. 27th, Cruz Claudel. 28th, Trent Dinkel. And 29th, Anthony Federico. Nice list of drivers there, folks. And we have here in the booth with us, joining us via phone, is our winner, Garrett Maines. Garrett, do you read us, my friend? Hello, Garrett Maines.
I've got you. Sorry about that.
No problem. Congratulations on the win tonight, Garrett.
Thank you.
What a win it was. There was a little bit of back and forth going on there. You played it back a little bit. Tell us about your strategy for taking the lead here, because it looks like you weren't really charging as hard as some of the guys were earlier on, but you still managed to sneak out that lead around halfway.
Yeah, I mean, early on. So, to give you some background, I don't think I've ever raced next gen here. Maybe I have, but I felt like on Sunday night in the Ryco practice, I was kind of out to lunch. I'm not going to lie to you. So I went with the mentality of, I'm going to sleep on this. I'm going to come back on Monday night and hop in the race and hope it goes well. And, I mean, I didn't really put qualifying together all that well, but it was good enough to start P4. I got out to the lead pretty much right away, and then I saw people that were just absolutely ripping their tires off. I was like, okay, you know, clearly they want to go. I have zero interest in being on that strategy. Caution came out, kind of benefit them, you know, whatever. Just continued to ride, sit there. I mean, they were running second, third lane. I knew that there was no way that was going to be a long-term thing, especially compared to like how I was driving. I knew the pace I was driving was going to be fine. So worst case scenario, I just make the charge at the end. But, you know, they started sliding around a little bit. I knew I had a shot at them, got the lead. You know, we got the pit cycles, a little bit of strategy. I think it was it Heitman? I think Heitman had really undercut, got the caution. Then we played some strategy to get out in front of him. Honestly, it didn't really pan out for me because I got buried a couple restarts later. But yeah, I mean, the cautions fell at the right time, I guess, throughout the rest of the race. I got the lead, hung on to it with a bunch of short stints. I mean, we had the short run speed.
Yeah,
that car was on rails. So shout out to Ryco for putting out quite the piece, because I really, like, on Sunday night, I did not think that I would be even a top 5 car tonight, just as a driver. And I mean, that car just felt so much better. As soon as I got out there, I was like, okay, this is making sense. I can do something with this, and it showed at the end.
That's what we like to hear. Hey, you beat me to it. Anybody else you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, I mean, also I want to give a huge shout out to you know, Ryco Performance, obviously, for, you know, all the hard work they put into these cars. I mean, shows each and every week, but you know, it's cool to be able to represent them and bring it to victory lane every once in a while for them on Monday nights. It's always nice to finish the job now. But also shout out to Clayton. I've been racing him a lot lately. It's always a pleasure. He's raced really respectful, and he's been showing a lot of speed lately. So cool to be able to throw down with him now on a weekly basis. And also got to give a huge shout out to Scott at MCU Body. Big thank you to him, Lennox, the guys at FGR Excel, and Ryco Brothers.
Love to hear it. The sponsors love to see it too. Thank you very much, Garrett. Congratulations on your win, and we look forward to seeing you in the victory lane again.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, you have a great rest of your night. That was it. That was it from our winner, Garrett Maines, here at Chicagoland. Sheldon, what are your takeaways from tonight's race?
It was a really good action-filled race. Lots of good battles. It was fun to watch, and excited to see what the B car puts on here in about 4 or 5 minutes.
Yep, going to be another race coming up here, folks, so stay tuned. You're going to get another guy in the booth leading it. I had a lot of fun. This is Joe LaCastro, joined by Sheldon Atkins with Austin Derbyshire, and I hope you've enjoyed the presentation tonight on GridVisions, because there's more coming. Don't go anywhere. Maybe grab a drink and stay tuned.
And with that, we welcome you back to the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split live as we take a quick run to the famous IRP as we are here in Indianapolis. Hello, everyone. I'm Taylor Burris, joined back with Sheldon Atkins and our producer, Austin Derbyshire. And I got to say, this track here, Lucas Oil IRP, is a phenomenal racing circuit, Sheldon. We saw the trucks here not too long ago for the NASCAR Truck Series in the real life, and of course this is also the home to some exciting racing. The Little 500 and several other major racing events happen at this short track.
Yeah, this is a really cool track. Really old, weathered, worn in, bumpy all the way around it. Difficult to get around, and people always talk about the history and the legacy of the Speedway. Just down the street with Indianapolis. A lot of people sleep on this place. A lot of big names have been formed here. Kenny Irwin, Jeff Gordon, two notable members of the Lucas Oil Raceway history, who both their careers here on this speedway. And I think it was Silver Crown cars back then. So yeah, really fun track.
It is. It's home to the Little 500, where we see sprint cars do battle here. The asphalt sprint cars, which we have here on the iRacing platform. And then, of course, several other series. The USF 2000s, Juniors, and Pro Series also run here during Indianapolis 500 week. And, of course, the NASCAR trucks run here. And in the virtual world, the NASCAR Xfinity Series comes out and races here, where you can race also other series of cars that are utilizing the short track packages, such as your late models, modifieds. It's always a great of who's who you can race around this circuit. But the one thing to keep an eye on is the temperature. 85 degrees is the air temp. 110 degrees, Sheldon. Going to get a little bit sticky, but that is just going to mean that car is going to get a little bit loose late into the run, because this track here is a multi-groove racetrack. You can run right up against the bottom. You can run right up against the wall. It's a matter of how well you set your car up in order to get around this track.
Yeah, and the one thing that these drivers are not going to feel at any point during the run is comfort. This is a very slick, loose, on corner exit racetrack. And if it's not that, then you probably overcharge a corner and you're probably knocking down the fence. So there's no happy medium that I've ever found here.
Yeah, I haven't either. Let's go ahead and take a look at our picks. Starting off with me, the one I'm going to go look at is that driver who's starting currently in second place. It's the number 2 of Zach Rinker. Keep an eye on him. He's going to look his way up through the field, and I have a feeling he's going to take the fight to some of the competitors to have a shot at the B Open Championship. Sheldon, how about you?
That's a solid pick. With it being a short track, I'm gonna have to go with Clinton Ingle. I got a feeling he's gonna get the job done tonight. Been running pretty good in the past few weeks. See how it works out for him this evening.
Yeah, Zach Ingle's been having a good run, as of course our producer Austin Derbyshire, he's going to go with the driver of James Holzer, who is looking to have a good run this season and try to pick up a couple of extra points as he is out there in that number 17 Toyota for Team Conti. As the field will now make their way around qualifying, just about wrapping up. There is about 3 more cars yet to qualify, as is just wrapped up. And with that, we will give you the chance to view your starting lineup for today's racing action for 110 laps here around IRP. And it's going to be exciting. Starting on the pole position with a 22.364, it is Daryl Hahn alongside Zach Rinker in second place. Row number 2 is, of course, going to be Eddie Rose and Dustin Smith, followed by James Holzer rounding out your top 5. Mitchell Lancaster starts in 6th position. Clinton Ingle will start in 7th with Ricky Uddig in 8th. Scott Wise and Zach Maroney round out your top 10.
In 11th place, we're going to have Dylan Jones, followed by Ian White in 12th. 13th is going to be Kevin Martin, followed by Joe Dush in 14th. 15th is going to be Dan Morgan, followed by Jason Sims in 16th. 17th is going to be Matt Short, followed by Brenson Hunt, Jared Mogard. Austin Taylor going to round your top 20. And 21st, round out the field, it's going to be Tyler Cronister.
21 cars do battle here around the track. We'll see how it all plays out. Sheldon, it's going to be exciting. We've had a great A open race earlier today, and it's now to see what the B cars can do this week as we continue the bit of the topsy-turvy mix of different cars and tracks that we normally don't see in a while for these drivers racing here in the world of NASCAR, as we are enjoying the Olympic break. Of course, for those of you who tune into GridVision Weekly, won't have our Friday night top split because we don't have any NIS racing competition this week either due to the fact of the Olympic break. But we'll be back at it next Friday and Monday as we head to Richmond.
I'll tell you what, I'll be enjoying when the Olympic break is over, man. Bring back that racing.
certainly is exciting. And of course, we have more exciting action all throughout this week. On Tuesday, of course, we will have the Champions Power Equipment Truck Series. And then, of course, Wednesday, we will see the possibility also of none other than the Thunderclap iRacing Series. Thursday, the High Slide Series. And not too far away, we will have, of course, the majors, as for the first time on GridVision, we'll get down and dirty as we get set to watch dirt racing at Eldora Speedway for the World 100.
Now that's going to be a blast to watch.
Absolutely, as Fred the pace car driver will lead 21 drivers out onto the racetrack to get set here. And of course, if your league is interested in partnering with us here as they work their way around the circuit, if you want to partner with GridVision, reach out to us on all our social media platforms at Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and keep up to date with the latest of amazing racing content that we have on GridVision. Or if you want to start your career in broadcasting or producing, make sure to reach out to us as well on our social media platforms, and we'll be happy to have you join the GridVision family.
I'm just hoping this thing goes clean and green. This track has a history, at least on the time frame back when I was running on here back, years ago. We rarely get green flag runs. I've heard that it's shaped up a little bit in previous years, so it should be entertaining.
Certainly will be entertaining as the lights are out on Fred the pace car driver. Barney the flag man will have the green flag ready to go in the air as we get set for 110 laps. We're happy to have you with us. If you're still tuning in for the exciting Monday night action, Fred the pace car driver works their way on into the amazing pit road, and then we'll see the drivers get speeded up, ready to go racing. And it's time to go as they enter at a turn 3 and 4. Get up on your feet, enjoy the action as we have the green flag in the air. Fred, and here we go, down into turn 1, side by side. As our producer laughs in my ear because of that little tongue twister right there. But they're 3 wide through the middle of turn 1 and 2.
3 wide for second place. Not going to work out for the guy on the inside. He's going to cycle back in line. It's going to move Rinker back up to the back bumper of Hahn here.
Here they go. They're going to make it through. One driver, though, sideways. That's the 17 of Holzer. He's going to have to lock it down. Will we keep it clean and green? Yes, we will. But James Holzer, the first victim to struggle out of turn number 4, and he'll drop all the way back to 20th position as he tries to get back up to speed as quickly as possible. 2 laps on the board here, but already Daryl Hahn, Zach Rinker battling it out here for the race lead as they come out of 4.
That was a classy move by Holzer to lock it down, keep it there in the apron, and keep the caution from coming out. A lot of guys won't do that. A lot of guys will send it back up the track. Right now, Rinker looking on the inside, trying to get a little bit of air to the nose as he follows behind Daryl Hahn here.
Here they
Look
go.
how low those tire pressures are.
Very low indeed. I'm pretty sure these drivers want to have as low as tire pressure as they can, so that way they can build up a little bit, Sheldon, if I'm guessing correctly, in order to have that car better for the long run. As there we pick up Austin Taylor. Don't know if he had an issue, but he's still racing around the circuit. He currently sits in the 20th position. Scott Wise behind him as the 21 car field, but it won't be long before your race leader, Daryl Hahn, has caught up to the back bumper of Austin Taylor.
I think Taylor might be in this one for the safety rating. The 19 spun around there on the apron. Chronister.
Tough break right there for Chronister in the 19 machine. Let's take a look, see what happened. Oh, just hits the wall at a turn into turn 1 and 2, and then starts getting loose. Almost collects James Holzer. Keeps it off the racing line. And we're going to keep it clean and green for the time being. Great racing as we will now pick him back up. He is now sitting in 21st, so he's got a lot of work to do in this race if he wants to have a shot, but already not the way he is wanting to go for him as we have battles a little further back around Zach Maroney and Dylan Jones. They're side by side for the 8th position right now.
Yeah, everything's starting to stable out here up at the front of the pack. A little bit of separation between your leaders. About 5/10 a gap between Hahn and Rinker. Right here we got Clinton Engel. Oh, camera's moving. There's Joe Dush and the classic John Deere number 11.
Oh, trouble for the 98 machine. Looks like he got up into the outside wall. So we'll take a look at the replay to see what happened to him. That, of course, being Brenson Hunt right there. Gets a little bit too high and then just starts getting hugged by that outside wall. That's going to cause him to get himself all set up and continue on, but he's going to lose a couple of spots. He was inside the top 15. Now he's in 17th position, not where he wants to be as he tries to keep up with Matt Short and James Holzer.
Yeah, it's just one of the things about the speedway too. There's a lot of speed to be made up there at the top of the track, but the problem is a lot of marbles up there, as well as it is a very bumpy course, and your car is unsteady all the way through the corners. So if you go up there, it is it's borderline impossible to keep it up there without knocking down the fence or getting loose.
It really is. And as we watch here, drivers are trying to stay just in between those two white lines in the middle of the corner. That's where there seems to be the best amount of grip for them at this point of the racetrack. But there you see a little bit of a wobble right there for Smith as he tries to hold on, as you ride on board with him as he works his way through the corner. Here is the 51 machine trying to work his way up through the field. He is currently trying to just hold on as best that he can as they work their way. That's Dustin Smith as you ride on board with Daryl Hahn as he caught the tail end of the field.
Yep, there's that 19 machine that went down a little bit earlier. Crosser's going to stay up on the outside, not contend any. Let the leader go by. He knows he's not going to be able to fight him off as fast as Daryl Hahn's running. And as evil as Crosser's car is looking for him right now.
Yeah, Cronister is just trying to hug that outside wall as best that he can, stay out of harm's way, let these lead lap cars go by. Meanwhile, Eddie Rose is getting some pressure from Dustin Smith because of the lap traffic. This could bring in Dustin Smith as Cronister almost gets on the door of the 46 of Eddie Rose.
Yeah, Cronister got there real tight on him and slowed Eddie down a little bit, took a little bit of that exit speed, but Eddie's doing a really good job, keeping the forward momentum here.
Yeah, absolutely. As we have this hornet's nest of drivers further back as we watch Dylan Jones, Jared Mogard, Kevin Martin, Ian White all jockeying around. This is for the battle for just about 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. So just around the top 10 positions here as we go side by side between the 15 of Ian White and Dylan Jones. They're going to work their way down in the corner. And how about Joe Douche right there trying to get in there 3 wide. Can't work his way.
I may have called him that once or twice throughout my time frame racing him. But not the proper pronunciation. A huge slide down to the bottom of the 17. Is he going to be able to make it stick? Not quite.
Holzer is almost about to lose it off of turn 4. Gathers it back up, loses a couple of positions as Deutsch gets around him and moves up ahead in that number 11 John Deere Ford, but can't hold on for the moment because Holzer is coming back for another attack.
Better execution on the name there.
I appreciate that.
Also, the 49's got his hat on backwards. You see that?
I see that.
I don't know how I feel about that. It makes me uncomfortable.
Keeping an eye here as that 49 machine just up ahead of them is trying to work their way through as here they come.
Dustin to the fence. Here comes the 17. Back down to the bottom. He's going to get the spot.
He does get that spot. It's holy
big
cow.
slide.
Big slide by Ian White. He gathers it back up. That Rumble machine is now going to drop multiple spots outside the top 12 now as he sits 13th. He's now into the clutches of Dylan Jones.
It definitely rumbled on him there, that's for sure.
It certainly did.
That thing had bubble guts coming out the corner.
As we watch Eddie Rose now in the number 46 Team Conti machine trying to lead the charge up towards 3rd position, holding off Dustin Smith behind in the 4th spot as they work through the middle of turn 1 and 2. And so far, no pressure for anyone in the top 4 right now. They're just trying to log some laps, get to that halfway point, come down, get some fresh tires as here comes Mitchell Lancaster in the 5th spot with, of course, our Ryco Performance driver of Clinton Ingle, who sits inside the top 6, as here comes the Berlin Raceway driver of Ricky Uddig.
Yeah, I'll say it's a weird flex, too, for Lancaster right now, running 4th place in a car, or 5th place in a car labeled Gapplebees.
He's got a little bit of a gap right now over Clinton Ingle.
As we ride on board with Udding right now. Nice steady wheel. No real crazy jerky movements here.
Nope, just keeping a good, consistent run here, not trying to burn up the tires right there. He goes way down to the bottom of the racetrack. You got to be careful with that, though, I have to say, Sheldon, because running that low when you're already this high up the racetrack, as we see here, could cause some significant tire wear, I have to say.
Yeah, and right now what he's doing, he's searching. He knows that he's not catching Ingle when he's running, the same exact line as Ingle. So he's trying to see, maybe if I diamond it, maybe if I pinch the exit, because there's a lot of different ways you can attack the corner and, lengthen that straightaway and build more speed down the straightaway to help you really reel that guy in. It's just experimenting right now. Not going to be something he does. He saw how much of a loss it was to do that there. It's the apron here is a very false sense of security, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because the outside of the track, everything's got a little bit of banking. The inside, it feels like you're going through the first turn at Brands Hatch where it's all decambered and pushes you out. It's like how New Hampshire used to be.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, this track, a little bit of a smaller version, I have to say, of how New Hampshire used to be, by how the banking is around this track, along with how flat the apex and bottom of the racetrack is that we're so used to seeing over at New Hampshire.
Yeah, it is a very, very strange hybrid of a track. Almost reminds me a little bit of Langley, too, in some regards.
I have to agree with a little bit bigger, though, than Langley, I have to say.
A lot. Feels like Daytona versus Bristol.
Right.
Almost. I don't think you ever go straight at Langley.
Watching on here as drivers are negotiating through lap traffic with the 51 machine of Dustin Smith. He's trying to close in on Eddie Rose in the number 46 machine. They are closing in on Zach Rinker as well, as the top four currently separated by just about 1.6 seconds. So far, everyone's just trying to log some laps here, find that sweet spot, and see how their car is towards the end of the run. They're halfway through this first set of tires, pretty much. How do you think the car's feeling after about 20 laps, if they've been taking care of the tires?
Same way it did at the start when they dropped the green. Absolutely horrible. To say the least. It is such a tricky, fickle track, and it gets worse the more and more you log laps, the more rubber buildup you get on this place. It tries to beat you, and we got a yellow right now.
We certainly do. Ian White in the 49 machine has looped it around off of turn number 4 by the looks of it. Take a look at the replay to see what happened to the number 49 Rumble machine. Comes down into turn 3 and 4. And, he might have tried to check up a little bit and loops it around. Well, with that, while these drivers are under caution for the first time here tonight, 27 laps on the board. We're going to step aside, take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more racing action here on GridVision. You're watching the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split here at IRP.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends.
Welcome back to GridVision's coverage of the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split here as we are back green flag racing, and Daryl Hahn takes the race lead once again ahead of Zach Rinker, Dustin Smith, and Eddie Rose. They're going to go side by side for the third position out of turn number 4 as they try to jockey for position. Clinton England, the catbird seat, ready to capitalize on any one of those two to make a mistake as they work their way back into turn 1. And it's going to be trouble further back. One driver hits the wall after turn number 2. Added several cars trying to avoid it as more cars involved in the carnage, and it is a parking lot in the middle of turn 1 and 2.
Oh! That was a little aggressive on the reverse gear, man. Just about smoked the 19.
That was Ricky Uddig right there who just split the difference right here as we pick up the 31. Oh, goodness. I think we have to go a little bit of third ahead, as right there, several drivers had to work their way through.
I don't know what he was thinking throwing it in reverse like that. That was kind of nutty.
Take a look at Jared Mogard, who might have been the cause of this caution in the number 7. Right here, he comes through the middle of the corner, heading down the front straightaway. Looks like Holzer tries to dive it down.
Oh, nut code, man.
Yep.
Holzer dove it, and another week in a row, man. To no fault of his own, Mogard gets caught up in a nasty wreck.
And then how about this with Ricky Udding just splits the difference between two cars as he tries to back it up.
He didn't split entirely. That M&M's machine got a... It definitely melted.
It certainly did, as working through the field, heading into the 00. Yep, there's the contact.
God, that is so rough.
It is a tough break for both him and Ricky, who are having a good fights, and then boom, big contact by the 21.
Like I said, man, Mogart just cannot buy a break here recently.
Yeah, Mogard currently trying to fight his way through the championship standings. Currently has a lot of work to do as he is way down the running order. Daryl Hahn, though, he's having a good night so far. Currently sits 14th in the standings with probably one of the highest amount of wins, with 46 wins for the season.
That's going to be really good points tonight for Hahn, that is for sure. Running really good out here in the 3-Haas machine. And Rinker's trying to keep him honest, but I just don't think Rinker has the experience or just that feeling here this week to really be able to do anything with him right now.
No,
Sorry about that. Random hiccup.
Of course, Zach Rinker, who's in the hunt as well, he sits 4th in the championship.
Apparently we have a hiccup outbreak here in GridVision, as our producer is dying on the other end of the call.
Producer currently losing its mind, as always, here on GridVision. Never know what to expect from our producer, Darby.
It's always chaos.
It is.
But speaking of chaos, man, pace car's down. What you got to say about it?
We're about to go back at it here. Barney the Flagman's going to have the green flag ready to go in the air as we get set. 37 laps on the board, coming to lap 38. As they come out of turn number 4 into the restart zone, green flag is out, and they're side by side as they come across the line. Daryl Hahn gets a great jump on the field, though, as he'll slide up in front of Zach Rinker. Dustin Smith, though, sends it in deep to go try and take second away.
Got a car into the fence in the middle of 1 and 2. Zach Maroney.
Zach Maroney in the wall.
Stuffed up in there.
He's still going to keep it straight and narrow as he is in a hornet's nest of competitors, though, as outside, as there goes... Oh, the fourth around.
Right in front of Dutch.
Third caution of the night for Mitchell Lancaster, who loops it around out of turn number 4. Tough break for him as he was having a decent run. Let's take a look at the replay to see what happened to him.
Right here, there's a huge checkup car got loose in front of him. Oh, no, never mind. He got into the back of the 46 and checked up, and Engel destroyed.
Deutsch is destroyed also with the nose damage to the number 11 machine. A couple of others. The 720 machine as well also has damage. Tough break for several competitors who are going to be coming down pit road to service their vehicles.
You know, this is one of those places too, man. Like, all the incidents are going to happen in the corner, and the problem is you're on such a ragged edge with the car. By the time you get to the corner, there's not much you can do to really counter through it. And there's also literally no time to adjust for anything because these corners are so quick. Like, it's such a small track.
It really is, and there's not a lot of places you can run and hide here because when chaos ensues in front of you, you have to just make sure you pray to get around this incident that might be in front of you, whether it be going low, going high, or unfortunately, it'll be stuck right there in front of you, and you have to try to negotiate as quickly and safely as possible.
You just see the smoke pop in front of you, and you just kind of hold your breath and pray until you're out of it or in it.
Absolutely. So here we go. Currently under caution for the third time here tonight. It is still Hahn, Rinker, Smith. Holzer has finally worked his way up into the top 5 after his early lap caution, or spin actually. Didn't bring out the caution, but it was an early lap spin where he dropped outside into 20th and has now climbed his way up inside the top 5 to have a shot of going for the race lead.
Man, Barney's hand must be cramping by now. Poor guy's just sitting up there holding it. You see, he's got the trembles. See a little shake?
A little bit of a shake, but you know what? That arm has been strong to stay up there for multiple laps at a time because you got to think about it. After he does that, he'll wave the green flag, and there's some cases where he has to automatically bring out the yellow flag because of an incident heading into the corner.
Oh, man, that boy ain't waving the green flag, man. He's shaking that thing like it owes him money. That ain't a wave. That is violent watching him shake that thing on these restarts.
It is. He is very committed to his job. He's been doing this for how...
This all out of context is just going to be really bad. I just thought of it after I said it.
Yep.
Beautiful weather.
Very beautiful weather. Currently, it's still about in the 80s, but the track temperature is starting to rise just a little bit. Currently, it is about 109 degrees for the track temperature, so it actually went down a degrees, and it's actually going to cool off a little bit. It could be about 83 degrees before this race is over.
All right. Our favorite meteorologist.
With that, Fred, the pace car driver, makes the hard left turn down to the pit road. Barney, the flag man, ready and ever watchful as he has the green flag ready in hand to turn these 21 drivers loose once again. And we're back at it here as they come down across the start-finish line here and race their way off into turn 1 and 2. But so far, it is everyone trying to keep clean and green as one car is in the wall, but that's the 19. He's going to keep on racing as they work out of turn number 2. Daryl Hahn clears his way ahead of Zach Rinker. Holzer, though, trying to put the pressure on and move up further in the field as he has worked his way up to 3rd.
Yeah, and a little bit of a blink out of Holzer, too. He's been having what looks like connection issues this whole thing, kind of disappearing. That could be a problem later in this thing. You know, people get aggressive when you see somebody that's kind of disappearing in front of you. A lot of guys will just kind of turn you as soon as you come back. So keep an eye on that.
Yeah, he's got to be careful with that because that could cause some issues here as some drivers, a bit of checkup further back as they try to work their way through outside the top 15. But so far, everyone's trying to keep it clean and green for the moment as they come across the line heading into turn 1. One car gets slide its way up to the outside wall. That's the 17. He gathers it back up. That's Austin Taylor. The So far, as he works his way around the circuit, he will hold position, sitting in the 16th position. As we back up the race leader, here comes Zach Rinker and James Holzer to barrel down on your race leader, Daryl Hahn. They are closing quite a bit. In fact, last time by, Rinker was a 10th faster than your race leader of Daryl Hahn. He is trying to close in and have a shot of taking the race lead away from your Daryl Hahn as they come across the line. 3-2-1 is your top three. And so far, will Holzer close in, or will he lose some time to Rinker and Hahn, who are starting to pull away?
I mean, I think Rinker might be on the charge here. You know, later in this race, probably got the proper adjustments thrown in that thing. Track is starting to come to you. A lot of these guys build these setups, you know, on a worn-up shootout track. You know, the later we get into that run, you know, sometimes it kind of plays a huge benefit to some of these guys. Not as good. Whoa, we got another wreck.
Zach Maroney loops it around, having some issues out there on the track. He will continue on, but the 720 machine will rejoin the track. But unfortunately, we'll bring out our fourth caution of the night.
Did you say that was a loop-de-loop and then pull? Now your shoes are looking good. I've been watching too much SpongeBob with kids. Sorry about that.
All good, all good. As we watch here and take a look at the replay. Tries to send it in too deep.
Us when we roll this thing across the finish line. But yeah, he just sent it in way too deep. And you can't do that here.
No, you cannot. And unfortunately, that will bring out our fourth caution. We get another look at it. But yeah, just send it in too deep in the Simpson 720. And loops around, almost collects the 6 of Engel. As he nearly gets sideways.
Engel got loose.
He was able to hold on. That was the good thing.
Masterful job of Clinton keeping it under him. Almost ended up in a second incident there. Second one not of his making.
And with that, several cars did come down pit road, such as drivers Ian White, Joe Deutsch, Jared Mogard, also on pit road. So pretty much everyone who is outside the top 10.
Somebody got themselves a penalty here, apparently.
Trying to see, we'll see who got the penalty. The only driver I see with any form of penalty or flag is Ricky Uddig, who has
Man, look at
the damage repair flag.
Can we get back on that 19 car for a second? Thing was arched up in the back like a cat.
Oh, it was on jacks.
Oh, man. That popped a wheelie.
Nearly did, yes, indeed.
Something in that chassis is not happy.
Almost at the halfway point here. And it's going to get exciting.
Don't say that it's almost halfway, Taylor. Dang it.
It is almost halfway. We're only 2 laps away from the halfway point.
Well, I know it's math, and I know we're there, but man.
Some days I am, unfortunately. Well, with that, though, we should get the 1 to go signal before we go back racing here, and that is the case, as everyone will double up and get set to go back green flag racing this time by. It will be the halfway point once they take the green flag and get set to go racing. And
I'm hoping these guys hit a massive reset switch here and realize that what they've been doing right now isn't going to be working out for any of their favors. I want to settle down. Let's get a good long green flag run in here and race it up.
I have a feeling they're going to set themselves up for a good run here towards the end, and I have a feeling that it will be a good race towards the finish as they come through the middle of turn 3 and 4. Barney the Flag Man has the green flag in hand and set to go racing. Coming out of turn number 4, green flag is out, and we're back at it. Daryl Hahn with another great jump on the field as he will pull away as the two Team Conti drivers of Holzer and Rinker go side by side. Holzer will get the second spot away and sets his sight on the number 3 of Daryl Hahn for the race lead as they head down the back straightaway. Rinker looks on to try to cross him over down to the bottom of the racetrack with Dustin Smith all over the back bumper in 4th with Eddie Rose rounding out the top 5.
This could be dangerous for Hahn. He hasn't had Rinker behind him this entire race. Rinker was looking so fast driving himself through traffic. Let's see how that pans out as they roll over somebody's front bumper in 1 and 2.
Tough break there. Hopefully it didn't cause damage to anyone as they come through into turn 3 and 4. Hahn holds strong against Holzer for the time being. Rinker trying to stay tucked up to the back bumper of his teammate as they come out of turn number 4 and riding on board with Daryl Hahn. You can see Holzer closing in closer and closer in that Toyota Supra as they work through the middle of turn 1 and 2. Out of 2, though, gets a great run out of turn 2 and gets about 2 kart lengths out of them as they work through. And so far, caution is out. And it might be, yes, it is, Dan Morgan and Tyler Cronister who were involved in this one. Poor Bluey.
Good thing my kid's asleep right now. She'd be crying.
I think
Seeing that thing get spun around.
All the kids and all the Australians are not happy about what happened to Bluey.
No, there's riots in Sydney right now.
Yeah, well, especially if this is what I'm thinking it's going to be happening. Yes, indeed. Yep, there is writing.
Car outside, man.
Gotta make sure you listen to your spotters. Tyler Cronister's
19 said he was low. Over the... Pretty rough break.
Looks like none of the characters got any significant damage to that, so hopefully no issues there. But we'll now be on under our 5th caution to go here. Yeah.
Bluey's Australian, and as long as Bingo's okay, I'm all right with it. That's our favorite around here. Bluey acts like a little punk half the time.
And now, if you want to send your complaints or file issues, send it to, of course, sheldon@gmail.com. And he will gladly hear your roast about his hate for Bluey, apparently.
I don't be saying... Don't be saying it that way, man. I'm gonna start getting emails about, hey, man, why'd you cut me off into turn 3 at Kentucky last week? I think I'm on a few people's lists right now. In this series. We were flying last week. Now it's over.
Game over for you now.
Yeah, I'm terrible here, man.
Well, it's one of the... Go ahead.
Won like 2 or 3 races here in 2018, then somehow just unlearned the entire track in the off season that year.
Well, I have to say, out of the short tracks that the NASCAR series goes to, and that includes the truck series, of course, this is probably one of the hardest short tracks to get a handle on and how to properly run consistently lap after lap.
Now, my best, though, is when we go here in the off season, when we go to Five Flags.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Me in that place with the Xfinity car, that is a combo.
I actually got a win at Five Flags once in an Xfinity car.
I got 10 in a row there.
We'll
the best thing that's ever happened to me on iRacing.
Give you a gold star.
Dude, honestly, I gave myself gold stickers for that all week. I got wrecked by a lap car and didn't run anymore. It broke my streak.
Trying to go for 11.
If I'd have finished, that was like Wednesday too. If I'd have finished that week out, I'd have probably been sitting at 20, but I just didn't do it. Took the wind out of my sails.
Well, hopefully these drivers can still have a little bit of wind in their sails here as we are about to take the green flag once again. 62 laps on the board. As they're trying to get to the lap 110. It's safe to say, Sheldon, with how many cautions, no one's going to really come down pit road up towards the front to change tires for the time being. As one
Right
driver
now-
did, Dustin Smith did. So he's going to be starting in 14th. We'll keep a track of his run up to the field here. 62 laps are going to be completed. Coming up to lap 63, right on board with Zach Rinker as Daryl Hahn fires out of the cannon to lead the way down into turn 1 as Team Conti drivers barrel down on him through the middle of turn 1 and 2 as James Holzer tries to capitalize. He'll look to the inside, try to cross him over, can't find the room. He's not close enough to make anything work as they head into turn 3 and 4. Trouble though, Clinton Ingle hard into the outside wall.
That's a lot of cars there. Bluey Mobile got torched up pretty bad in that one again.
Debris everywhere, and
Darby's favorite part, man, that debris.
Clinton Ingle, got a little bit of help.
Here's...
I think Dustin Smith got in that too. As
Look
now,
at that! Look at that bumper.
Yep, Clinton Ingles, significant damage to the rear end as your race leader, Daryl Hahn, is on pit road along with several others. James Holzer decides to stay out, so it's Hahn, along with the driver of Eddie Rose and a few other, Zach Rinker and several others. The only drivers to stay out is James Holzer, Jared Mogard, Tyler Chronister, and Ian White. 4 drivers staying out on the track. With that, we're going to step aside, take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll hopefully have some green flag runs to the end here. You're watching GridVision's coverage of the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split here at IRP. We'll be right back after these words. Welcome back to GridVision's coverage of the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split, the B Open. We're trying to get through the end of this race. 68 laps are on the board. Green flag is out, and we're back underway as James Holzer leads the charge now with race lead. Jared Mogart sits second. Ian White, Tyler Chronister, as here comes the drivers who came down and changed tires. That's Daryl Hahn, who's trying to split the difference, go 3 wide. Can't do it as Chronister shuts the door on him. He's trying to go send it deep. 3 wide for third as he will clear him. Chaos, though, ensues behind as Eddie Rose gets the bump, and multiple cars slide down below the racetrack, and exactly what we expected to see as multiple cars were jockeying around for position as Chronister and the 98 get together.
That 19 just can't keep it straight tonight, can he?
No, he cannot. He is having a tough night.
It's rough.
There you see Daryl Hahn sends it in 3 wide. Then the contact with Eddie Rose that gets Chronister turned around. And then, unfortunately, the 14 gets into the back bumper of the 98 machine, which then causes more spinning. I think if the 98 machine did not spin or Brenton Hunt did not go onto the racetrack, we could have still stayed green flag.
I think we're allergic to green flags tonight. I mean, a little bit of contact, but that shouldn't have been enough to cause that incident. That 19 was going around. Anyway, he looked loose coming in, and the shot from the back didn't help either.
It really did not.
This is why you don't get on mixed strategies when your car ain't been running good.
That, or if your car, yeah, it's best to come down pit road and make some repairs to damage, or also put some fresh tires on.
No, I've always found it, if you're struggling to get around the track on your own, you're not going to be doing good in the middle of the pack. Just go to the back and let it breathe.
Exactly. So Chronister did come down pit road. One driver has retired. That's Zach Maroney, the number 13. He is out of the race. We have 3 cars that are 1 or more laps down. That's Scott Wise, Jason Sims, and Ricky Udding, who is currently sitting 38 laps down. So not the night he's looking for, as everyone else is still out on track. 17 cars on the lead lap.
Hey, here's the thing I'm wondering about, man. How much better are those tires that Daryl Hahn has under that number 3 machine? How much better are those going to be than what Mogard has right now? And is Mogard going to be able to capitalize on being out front here on a little bit older stuff?
Well, we saw that it's about 40-lap-old tires that James Holzer had. Jared Mogard had probably around the similar distance, if not maybe a tick off, because he has been coming down pit road a couple of times. So we'll see how this plays out for him.
I'm just hoping for Mogard it goes good and clean here from the end, because, man, I just want to see him turn that bad luck around. Hate seeing that dude get caught up in stuff every week.
Yeah, Mogard needs a little bit of help to have a good run here, get some valuable points for his championship run, as he wants to try to have a good run. And, of course, if you think about it, with the NASCAR B Open Series, as well as all of the other, the A Open and the NIS, there's not just the overall championship that's up for grabs. There is divisional championships and club championships that are up for grabs, that people want to have that bragging right is for, especially when it comes to the end of the season, such as for the B, the C, and the A, or the NIS Open championships. That will be with you for pretty much your entire career on iRacing, to get one of those overall or divisional championships.
Yeah, those division championships, man, they get just as heated as the overall for a lot of these guys. Because,
go ahead.
Anytime that you can say that you're the best at something on iRacing, it's fun to have to brag on, for sure.
Absolutely, and of course there's your club championships as well, so you got to be looking out to see who was going to battle it out amongst your club as they work their way through the middle of turn 3 and 4. And the green flag should be in the air. 75 laps are on the board when they come across the line here. And it's now going to be Holzer who will pull away. Once again, Mogard tries to hold off the outside lane, as we thank Eugene for subscribing and following us here on YouTube as we watch the drivers side by side. Daryl Hahn will try to get around Mogard for the second spot, and he will clear him heading into turn 3 and 4. Yes, he will, as here comes Zach Rinker and company to try to get around for that third spot.
Mogard doing a good job. Oh, car in the wall behind him, but Mogard doing a good job keeping it, tidy up there at the top of the track, letting these guys on fresher tires go, not getting yourself caught up in anything. Rinker's going to dive into the bottom, slide up just a little bit, giving him room, though.
Give him a little bit of room, which is going to be just fine and dandy for the moment, as they're still going to go side by side for the third spot. Eddie Rose watches on in the 4th or the 5th spot, ready to try and see if he can fill the gap to the inside and follow Zach Rinker through. So far, these two side by side is going to allow Daryl Hahn and James Holzer to pull away.
Mogard's going to taper off the throttle just a little bit and let Rinker go by. Good move by Mogard, and good move by Rinker, too, giving him plenty of room, too, because you don't know who you're racing when you get back through the field. You don't want to get yourself caught up in a wreck. Staying on the bomb is a good way to avoid that.
Yes, it is. As we watch these drivers work their way through, Daryl Hahn just barreling down on them. Last time by, they almost ran identical lap times, Holzer and Hahn. So we'll see how this plays out as Holzer can hold on to the race lead over Daryl Hahn here as they work through the middle of turn 3 and 4. But a big run by Daryl Hahn as he tries to put the power down and chase his competitor for the race lead.
Holzer absolutely not going to make it easy, though, for Daryl Hahn. If Daryl Hahn does get up there to him. Doing a really good job holding out on those older tires. I really think if these two get on match stuff, man, it could be a real toss-up between the two of them as to who's going to walk away with the win tonight.
It really is. As we watch these two, a good run for them as they cross the line. Hahn a tick faster, a 22.73 to Holzer's 22.79, and then Zach Rinker with a 22.74. So they are all running right around the same lap times, but Holzer has much older tires compared to Daryl Hahn.
But right now, what Holzer's doing is he's making it harder for Hahn to get by. He's running the middle while Hahn's, trying to commit somewhere. You can't get by him if he's right there, not without moving him. And I don't think Hahn's the type to throw the bumper to somebody.
Trying to keep it clean and green here as they come down the back straightaway. Rinker trying to barrel down on him. He is closing and making time up. He is 0.7 of a second and closing on your top two as Hahn gets a good run out of turn 3 and 4. But does not have the room to run and make the pass to set up into turn 1 and 2. He will stay tucked up behind Holzer for the time being.
Yeah, he's inching closer and closer every lap, though. It's going to be, give it a handful of laps where he's there and can actually make a move on him. So Holzer's going to slide up here to the top, and that's going to open the door for Hahn. Hahn's going to get a huge run. They're going to make contact out of 4. Big slide out of Hahn on the bottom. Holzer's going to lead that lap, though, as they come back into 1.
Hanging tours here as we have the short track aggression kicked into overdrive as Hahn will try to battle out of turn 2 with him, but can't do it as Holzer will pinch him down and will take over the race lead once again and hold on for the time being. This will bring Zach Rinker in closer and closer into this battle. Same thing with Eddie Rose. He's closing in.
Not going to work out for the benefit of Hahn right now as he slides back in line behind Holzer. Going up to the top. Oh, we get a yellow. Again.
We have a yellow with Kevin Martin, and just when it was getting good. Kevin Martin, one of the drivers who had an issue spinning on the front straightaway, bringing out our 6th or 7th caution for the night.
You know what? It's a different car this time. I'm not as angry.
Kevin Martin getting some pressure, putting the pressure on that 49 machine. And up in the air almost.
There's a car up top. You just you got to not try to push him through the fence. You're not going to clear him if you just turn yourself off him.
Yeah, not a good look.
Contact. This has been textbook. This is what we've seen all night. People think they're clear enough to lean up on somebody when there's no room up there to the top. And then round to go.
That was Ian White. He made contact with, so a tough break and. I think Ian White's ready to rumble here with that Patriot mobile machine as right there.
There's nothing Ian could have done there.
No, there isn't.
When the car on your bottom's, turning through you, there's nowhere you can really go, especially when you're that close to the fence. Hmm. 17 machine came back down, put 4 on it.
That will move him to 8th position right now.
It's going to be interesting to see how that plays off now. He's on something better than Hahn. He was holding him off on the old stuff. I honestly would have stayed out. No, I do think it's the right move, but and the way these guys have been racing in the mid-pack, it's kind of darty back there.
Yeah, that's my only concern is he may have he has one of the fastest cars. I will have to agree, but the problem is just how chaotic that mid pack is from pretty much 7th on back is where the chaos ensues. We do want to know that Daryl and Zach had some pretty good runs though when they did start a little further back in the field, but they did have a little bit of help with some cautions as they did have also a couple of close calls, I do have to say though, Sheldon, when they were fighting their way through the field.
Oh yeah, numerous of them, and they were only in the back for 2 or 3 laps before they got back to the front.
give or take.
Clinton Ingle back up to 5th place right now after driving a modified there for a little bit. See how
Yeah,
that
he was
front
fine.
clip's looking on.
Looks like you got
That's the
that
wrong
front
car.
clip back on.
Bring it back. Rear is absolutely cheese, but the front clip looks good, so not in the modified class anymore.
Could you imagine if they had if your damage was more than 5 minutes, that you would have to be out of the race, pretty much?
Oh man, trying to get anything fixed here it's terrible.
Well, the reason why I was saying that, like, you know how in NASCAR they have the 5-minute clock, pretty much.
Yeah.
Imagine that on iRacing.
Oh god, it'd be so bad. Please don't give us that. And by please don't, I mean please do, because some of these people need to be just out of races when they wreck the field.
And with that, the green flag will come out this time by here as we keep an eye on the competition that gets set ready to go racing. Going to be 90 laps, so just around 30 laps to go for your race leaders here. Coming through the field here, and they will get themselves set up for a run. And into the restart zone they will go. Green flag is out, and we're back racing here into turn number 1. Daryl Hahn, Zach Rinker lead the charge. Ian White, though, is going to put some heavy pressure on Brinson Hunt and Dustin Smith, as Dustin Smith will go around the outside, getting around Ian Hunt. Same thing with James Holzer. He'll move back into the top 5 as Mogard, Engel trying to find their way around Ian White.
Also doing a good job working his way back through the field. He is up to 4th place. About to get himself back up into 3rd as he dives to the inside of Hunt. Going to run him pretty close here in 1 and 2. Really tight coming out of turn 2. Contact! Hunt up into the fence.
Hunt is up into the fence, but we're going to keep it clean and green for the time being as they fight their way down into the middle. How about 3 wide and 2 wide action out of turn number 4? And they're going to keep it hard racing, and across the line they will go. So far, so good, as they're going to keep it clean and green for the time being. Heading down, Mogard picks a 2-for-1 special up.
Man, Mogard with an absolute power move down there in the apron. Going to dive back up here in front of these guys. He's moved him up to 4th place as the 46 machine is looking here to try and get up to 5th.
Moving up further into the field, and here comes the driver of Eddie Rose. Dustin Smith, though, has to be careful. Got a little bit loose off turn number 4 as here comes James Holzer with a big head of steam now. He wants to try to take the fight as you're on board with him, leading the charge, trying to get around Zach Rinker for 2nd place.
Holzer all over the rear bumper of his Team Conti teammate, Zach Rinker. Little nudge right there in the center. Going to keep it nice and tight, close to the bumper.
Holzer got a little bit
pressure
loose.
on.
And he'll go around the outside and hits the wall.
Oh, into the fence.
He gathers it back up, though, but that's going to cost him some valuable time on Daryl Hahn as he tries to put the power down off turn 2. Hits the wall again.
Yeah, right now, Holzer's doing everything he can. He knows the time's running out. Down here on the inside of his teammate. Really close racing between these two. You wouldn't even be able to tell that they're driving for the same organization, honestly.
And Rinker is going to give way to Holzer for the time being. Let's see if he can go and hunt down Daryl Hahn with the closing laps left to go as they head down into turn 3 and 4. You're on board with James Holzer in the 17 Team Conti machine as he tries to fight his way through.
Oh.
He gets a big run off corner exit and tries to set his sights on Daryl Hahn.
Look at the angles he's hitting behind Hahn. I don't think Hahn's going to stand much of a chance for too long. And the caution's out.
Matt Short and Joe Deutsch involved in this
Oh,
one.
huge wreck.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy, tempers flaring already as Matt Short
That was...
showed his displeasure.
Dush down there on the bottom.
Oh.
All 3 kind of came together there.
Yeah, that was a bit of a racing deal. I mean,
That's...
and then that right there.
That was just classless. I'll just say it right here, man. Y'all are done wrecking. Why tear your stuff up even more?
I mean, you're 3 wide. You're listening to your
Right on
spotters.
board.
I mean, you're that close. You couldn't fit a piece of paper between each one of those cars, pretty much.
We can get a chase cam or something that would make this make more sense as to who. That was rough. Really rough. Every time we get a good battle going here, man, it gets put out. Holzer was really setting himself up to have a really good run on Han there and maybe make an aggressive move, give him the bumper or something.
Well, it just means we'll re-rack him and restack him, and that'll mean it'll be a 10-lap dash to the finish.
Oh,
Possibly.
boy. I don't think it's going to be a 10-lap dash to the finish, I can tell you that.
And with that, Matt Short does take it behind the wall along with Joe Deutsch as well. His night is done.
Yeah, these guys have gotten really lucky, too, with where they've been hitting on the track. They've been hitting the retaining wall and each other more often than they've been hitting the walls on the straightaways here, because the walls on the straightaway are concrete. And I've hit a few of those in practice testing for this week, and it will just instantly pop your motor. Especially that inside wall, man. That thing's, it's like it's got dynamite shooting at you when you hit it.
And with that, we cross over to the 100-lap mark. And hopefully we'll see what plays out between Han and Holzer. Those two had a good fight setting up here before the caution.
Hey, I didn't know we had a third one in the booth tonight.
Yep. Unfortunately, that's the deal with you have sometimes when you have animals in the house, unfortunately.
She ain't in heat again, is she? Because your life's about to be miserable.
As we get set to go racing once again here, and will be a 9-lap run to the race here. As we say, it's now 11 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah, the cat's telling us.
Cat is
Dad
telling
should
us.
have fed me 3 hours ago. What the heck?
Oh, that cat got fed several hours ago.
That's not what she's saying right now.
Yeah, I beg to differ. I can go check her food bowl. Here we go, getting set to go back racing once again. As they're doubled up, it's going to be Han on the inside, Holzer, and then you have Rinker and Mogard right there in fourth. Eddie Rose rounding out your top five as they enter into the restart zone. And who will fire off the quickest as they enter out of turn number 4. Green flag is out. Holzer tried to hold him up a little bit, but Hans will get the power down quick enough to lead the charge into turn 1 as Holzer tries to fight his way into the inside. Can't find the opening, but powers his way out of turn 2 to get that line set up as they race their way into turn 3 and 4.
No, Holzer's got it here. He's got a huge dive on the bottom into 3 and 4 on the inside of Han. Not quite able to get the power down. I think Han's going to pull it here. Oh, Han gets loose out of 4. It's a dead heat into turn 1.
It is, but Holzer will slide his way up in front of the race lead here ahead of Daryl Hahn as he will lead the charge off turn number 2. Great drive for Holzer from spin to possibly win as he will clear Daryl Hahn by about 2 car lengths out into turn 3 and 4.
That man's been through a lot of attrition tonight. Internet issues, that spin earlier, got caught up in a couple little messes here and there. Drove his way through the field multiple times, got back up here to the lead.
How about Joe
There's
Mogard? Looking for a nice recovery for the Team Conti 00 machine.
I'd love to see it, man. Mogard has had such a rough stretch, and we got a yellow.
We got a yellow indeed. Dustin Smith, the 17 of Austin Taylor, and somebody's
and a
front
bumper.
bumper. Could it be who I think it might be? Nope, it's not Clinton Ingle.
That's what I was thinking, too. That was a 15 machine.
15, a machine of Dylan Jones.
No?
Yes. Yep. There it goes. So now if you're Daryl Hahn, I mean, you're not coming down pit road. That's the big thing. But what can you do, Sheldon, to go and try and take the fight to James Holzer in these final few laps?
Basically, what you got to do at this point, you got two things. You get a really good launch and anticipate when he's going to hit the gas, and you get it perfectly with him. Likelihood of that, not that high. Second option, fall back in line behind him, give him the bumper. You're running out of time, and Holzer is flying right now. I don't see Han beating him without getting aggressive. So we see the Lucky Dog snaking his way through the leaders to get back on the lead lap here.
Who was that got the lucky dog? I'm curious to know.
I think that was 19, maybe? I'm not sure. We've had so many of them that I've been able to keep up with it.
Certainly is the case. Might have been the 98 of Brenson Hunt who got the lead lap back. James Holzer trying to play a little bit of games as he tried to come down pit road, but knew better of that. As they will double back up here next time by and let the 17 of Austin Taylor get back around.
So we get us a green-white checkered.
We certainly do. A natural green-white checkered by the looks of it.
That means we can get 4 of them.
That is certainly the case.
No, I'm saying we can get 4 green-white checkers into this thing. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, it's not going to be a natural one.
Nope.
Never mind. Light's still on pace car.
Not
Thank
a
you,
natural.
Fred. Crack the thin candy shell on that bag of M&Ms.
And as that, Fred, the pace car driver will make that hard left turn down onto pit road. As the field will enter through the middle of turn 3 and 4 to get set to go back racing once again for our first attempt of green-white checkered, heading into turn 4 into the restart zone. It is time to go racing, and there they go down across the front straightaway, and it is James Holzer who shot out of a cannon, gets a great jump on the field. Daryl Hahn, Jared Mogard will battle for second as Mogard gets a good run out of turn 2. He'll try to take second away from Hahn and clears him.
Mogard's really been clicking off good laps here since about halfway. Got a good clear. Snubbled. Here, Boris, you take it for the final.
Here they come for the white flag one more time around, presented by Ryco Performance as they come across the line. Trouble for Joe Deutsch as he has some issues as they work their way through the middle of turn 1 and 2. So far, Holzer holds on. Mogard trying everything to hold off Daryl Hahn for the second place as they work into the middle of turn 3 and 4 for the final time. Checkered flag in the air for the Team Conti driver of James Holzer to win at IRP. Oh, not the best drifter right there, I have to say.
He was just getting the good out of that one. Oh, man, he knocked his toe out of it pretty heavy.
Yeah, it was like he tried, but unfortunately failed the drift.
Daryl Hahn coming up here to give him a little congratulatory shove.
Does he have his seatbelt on?
No, it's going to be a $50,000 fine.
No,
Yeah.
that's a tough break. As
All the Team Conti cars are lining up over here.
several Team Conti cars will burn it down here on the front straightaway. As
Oh, look at that. Gapplebee's on date night.
I will say, we'll take a step aside with a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll give you the full field rundown and, of course, hopefully the chance to talk to your race winner. You're watching the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split live on GridVision. Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split here as we get set for your full field rundown. It's James Holzer from a spin to a win as he will win the race here. Jared Mogard gets a great points night here. 17 spots gained for him. Daryl Hahn, your pole sitter, of course, not the best night for him as he'll finish in third. Of course, fourth place goes to Eddie Rose. Zach Rinker will round out your top five. Mitchell Lancaster will come home 6th. Ian White in 7th position. Dustin Smith comes home 8th with Brenton Hunt in 9th. And Dan Morgan rounds out your top 10.
In 11th place, you got Austin Taylor, followed by Kevin Martin in 12th. 13th is going to be Tyler Cronister. 14th is going to be Clinton Engel. 15th, you got Joe Dush, followed by Dylan Jones in 16th. 17th is going to be Jason Sims, followed by Matt Short in 18th. 19th is Scott Wise with Zach Maroney round out your top 20. And 21st, I thought there was a 21st.
Udding.
21st is going to be Udding.
And with that, that will give us the chance to get the chance to talk to our race winner. James Holzer joins us up here in the booth. James, I have to say, how were you feeling after that spin on the opening laps?
Not good, to say the least. Yeah, that was the first laps on the set, and definitely shouldn't have tried going down there. On cold tires with no laps at all, but harmless spin for the most part, was able to gather it up and not bring out a caution, which I was happy about in the way because I didn't want to bring out the caution that way, but obviously would have helped my track position game a little better. Was able to fight up through the field as we had a like 30 lap green flag run there. I think I got back up to 10th and kind of played some strategy there at the end to get the lead. I knew Daryl was a little bit quicker than me coming to that caution with like 26 or 25 to go, or whatever we had. I felt like it was going to be really hard to hold him off because he was really good short run, and I knew he had fresher tires, and there was quite a few others that did as well. So contrary to what I wanted to do, I pit and threw some adjustments at it to make it better for me in the short run, and it felt really, really good, and was able to slice through the field relatively quickly. I think it was around 13 to go when that caution came out, or 14 to go when the caution came out, and I was back up to second already, looking to his inside for the lead, and just knew it was going to be tough if we had those caution string outs like we had earlier in the race. But thankfully we were able to get a little bit of a green run there, and actually was able to get to his inside initial on the restart, and just having that fresher tire was, you know, pretty, I wouldn't say easy, but easier than what it would have been on equal tires to roll the bottom. And Daryl was pushing to obviously keep me down there and got loose, and that was about all we needed to clear, and just kind of wanted to log laps there. So it was a rocky race, was definitely all over the place, but nonetheless was able to put it on victory lane. Doesn't really matter how it shakes out in the beginning, it just matters how it happens at the end, I guess.
It certainly does. You were able to come home with that strong race win here, and officially a Conti 1 through 6 pretty much for you guys. So a great night for you at the Team Conti. I mean, talk to us a little bit about, of course, what that team and that organization has been doing with the B cars, because they have been doing phenomenal work.
Yeah, absolutely. And it all starts with the base with Nick Ottinger, man. He really works his tail off because he wants all the drivers, ambassadors, everybody over in the program to run well week in and week out, and definitely does a good job of doing so, even with balancing a good coke schedule for him and testing a lot for that and being competitive on that end. So all starts with him. We've had a really good short track package figured out. I'm sure you all remember it. New Hampshire, we were really, really fast there long run as well, so it was nice to see that kind of translate over for sure here in this race that I did. I didn't do the first race, unfortunately, because I wasn't home in time, so I didn't get to see how that shook out, but vibes were positive and figured we had a good piece, and definitely was able to bring home a good finish. But yeah, it all starts with Nick Ottinger, obviously, like I said, building the sets, and then all the ambassadors and everybody else putting laps in and figuring out the exact adjustments that we need to be successful when we roll out on the initial night, and we have been hitting it, obviously, as you can see, the last few weeks for sure. On the nose, and tonight was none different.
Well, besides, of course, Team Conti, anyone else you'd like to give a thank you to?
Yeah, of course, got to thank you guys up in the booth for putting the broadcast on every week. Don't get to race these, unfortunately, as often as what I used to, just with some other obligations that I have, but I was able to get home a little early tonight and make this race, so it was nice to be able to do that and represent Team Conti really well, like you said, with a 1 through 6 finish, and P9 as well, I believe. So 7 in the top 10.
Well, with that, that is James Holzer, your race winner here in his number 17 Toyota for Team Conti. And Sheldon, I mean, this is just the kickoff to another great week here on GridVision. Of course, we'll be back here tomorrow night for the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series, Wednesday for the Thunderclap iRacing Series, and then Thursday to wrap up the week with the High Slide Truck Series.
Yeah, looking forward to another great week of broadcasting coming up. And I'm going to go take me a nap, man. That was a long one.
It certainly was. Well, with that, we want to say thank you for all of you who are tuning in on the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split here on GridVision. For our producer, Austin Derbyshire, and my co-host here, Sheldon Atkins, as well as Joe LaCastro, who helped cover the A Open. My name is Taylor Burris, and thank you for tuning in here on GridVision, and we'll see you on the grid.